Since the most recent Melbourne resurgence began, one club has thwarted them, Hawthorn. First it was the 1987 preliminary final and a grand final appearance denied. Then the 1988 grand final and the Hawks humiliated Melbourne. But today, if they carry a grudge, the current league leaders can help hasten what some critics are already calling the Hawthorn decline.
Hi everybody, I'm Dennis Committee. Welcome along to VFL Park for our match of the day in round 9. It's Hawthorn against Melbourne. And I guess it's fair to say the prophets of doom are suggesting the Hawks have gone after their 67-point loss against Carlton at this ground last Saturday. In fact, they've lost 2 of their last 3 games. The defending champions certainly have their problems. As far as the Melbourne Demons are concerned, they've lost just 1 game this season. It came back in round 6 against the Sydney Swans at the SCG. And as we take a look at the league ladder, we can see the congestion at the middle of the table there. Hawthorn on the cusp, so to speak, and obviously a place in the top 3 is what they're after. Melbourne sitting pretty on top, so a vital game this one as far as the Hawks are concerned. We saw the crowd there. The Brollies are up today. Light misting rain is falling. A crowd of about 25 to 30,000 at the present time for what should be an enthralling game. You don't win those back-to-back premierships giving up, so Hawthorn obviously will come out with all guns blazing today. It should be a great game. Drew Morfitt and Bernie Quinlan with me. And gentlemen, what about these two sides? Drew?
Well, Dennis, you mentioned in the opener that 1987 preliminary final, and what an incentive that'll be for the Demons today. We had Jim Steins, who ran across the mark and gave away the penalty, and we've got Eishold and Campbell, who both had shots at goal. They're all out there today, and they'll all remember that day, and they'll really want to beat Hawthorn as a result.
Yes, there's some worrying signs over there for Hawthorn this year. Last week they really got a hiding. As we look at the team line-up from the back line, Drew, Langford played at centre-half back last week and left a big gap when he was playing on Kernahan. He'll be playing on Bennett, who's equal second, he is second on the goal-kicking ladder with 42 goals, so that should be a great contest.
So the half-back line of Hawthorn, Schwab, Lawrence and Cooper. Lawrence and Cooper, just young players really in football. Gary Lyon can play at both ends of the ground.
The centres, Condon back into the Hawthorn side will make a big difference. Dipier Domenico not playing in the best of form at the moment, but the Hawthorn centre line, if it does strike some form this week, will be a big worry to Melbourne.
We come forward now, and Paul Deer's had a magnificent season for Hawthorn. Earl Spalding looks as though he might pick him up, but he might get Lyon as well. And Lovett and Phoebe, superb defenders for Melbourne.
The forward line, Jason Dunstall only 1 goal behind Bennett with 41, and it's not an easy day for forwards though today with this light misty rain falling and a lot of dew on the ground. He will be up against Danny Hughes, and also Graham Yates in the back pocket has had a great season so far.
In the following division, Michael Tuck, the veteran of football, fast closing on Kevin Bartlett. Dwyer, there's been some doubt about him. He had a fitness test and will take his place. Obst has had a great first season in AFL football.
On the interchange for Hawthorn, Madigan and Jenke, and for Melbourne, Glenn Lovett and Brian Wilson.
Thank you, gentlemen. Melbourne onto the ground here at VFL Park. 2 of the heavyweights of the AFL competition await, and we'll be back with all the action right after this. And welcome back to VFL Park. Hawthorn on the ground now too, as is Michael Roberts, who'll keep us up to date with ground activity. Michael?
Thanks, Dennis. And constant rain fell during the reserves game, which made the ball pretty hard to handle at times, and I would suggest the same conditions will prevail during the senior match. The current temperature at the moment is 16 degrees. The expected top is 16, so we've already reached that. The relative humidity, 87%. No wind at all, indicated by the flags. Therefore, there's no goal advantage for either team. The ground is slippery, and the forecast, surprisingly, mostly fine with a slight mist.
And so the record, pretty even as you can see in recent times. Generally, Hawthorn have been the master, but the records stand for nothing this afternoon. Other matches in round 9 of the AFL competition. Essendon go against St Kilda. Big game out at Windy Hill. Carlton against Fitzroy. Collingwood against North Melbourne. And we'll have highlights of the Essendon-St Kilda encounter at half-time and at the end of the match, and of course a complete score service. What about these two sides then, Bernie Quinlan? Hawthorn with a lot to do.
Yes, I think it's nearly crisis time at Hawthorn after last week. Remember, they haven't lost 2 games in a row since early 1987, but there were signs there last week that they were slipping. They haven't got the players that they did have. Some of their older players are starting to feel the pinch a bit, Dennis, I feel.
Encouraging sign there, John Platten. No knee brace. That's something.
He's been restricted, hasn't he, in the last few weeks with that brace?
That's a plus before we start.
Yes, he's very quiet last week, Johnny Platten, and obviously restricted by that knee brace or the injury. But it is a good sign for Hawthorn. They need him firing to be a very competitive side.
Dermot Brereton, we just saw, played well on Tuesday night. Back to form after a bout of flu. What an important player he is, along with Jason Dunstall on the forward line.
Dennis, Melbourne favourites in this game because most people think Hawthorn are just struggling a little bit at the moment. It's interesting that it's Hawthorn's first official home game at VFL Park. And since 1985, the Hawks have played 37 games at Waverley and they've won 32. So if you've got your house on Melbourne, you might just have to take stock of that one. They've only lost 5 of their last 37 here.
Yeah, so I don't think it's the same Hawthorn side, though, that we've seen over the last few years, Drew. Some of those players, as I said, are getting a little bit older. Michael Tuck, just about 37. It's a tough assignment for a player of that age to come up week in, week out and do the job that he's doing as an on-ball player.
Hawthorn will kick to the right. Gary Lyon having a word to say, as is Michael Tuck. And obviously the stakes very high this afternoon. Melbourne have set themselves to finish in the top 3. Obviously they'd like to finish on top. And Hawthorn, with that congestion we mentioned at the outset, just below them on the premiership table and above them too, need to win this one. So the champs to be tested this afternoon. It's one of the great things in sport. A champion side or a champion individual comes to the test. And how will they go this afternoon? There's a man who's having a great season, Graham Yates, in the back pocket. Earl Spalding has been very reliable back in defence as well. Interesting to see who gets the job on Dunstall today. May well be Spalding, seeing he's so deep. Brian Wilson going to the bench, along with Lovett, Glenn Lovett.
The other area, Dennis, they missed out badly last week was in the ruck, where Greg Deere lost badly to Justin Madden, and he won't have it any easy today against Jimmy Steins and Steve O'Dwyer.
What was the old comment? The best time to watch a champ is when he's getting whipped. Some boxer said that once. Well, they've been whipped recently, Hawthorn. Whipped last Saturday on this ground. Lucky to beat Collingwood. Lost to St Kilda the previous week. Now they're about to dig deep. We're set to go. The umpires, as we saw, Chris Mitchell and Brendan Carlin. Spalding has got the job, as we suggested, on Jason Dunstall. 2 men with claims to the goal-kicking title, Dunstall and Bennett. So away we go at VFL Park. Hawthorn and Melbourne. Deere and O'Dwyer. The latter wins it down. Socket off the ground by Healy. Down he goes. And we'll have a ball up alongside the centre circle. The rain has stopped momentarily. The sun is trying to break through. Rucks go at it again. O'Dwyer again. Decisively down. Healy put his body in. And once more there'll be a ball up.
Could have earned a free kick there too, Greg Healy. Had his body in and Condon over the top of him. Put the knee across his shoulder.
Dennis, another matchup with 2 champions. Gary Lyon on Dermot Brereton. Lyon, who was named at centre half forward for the Demons. It was a ruck infringement against Deere, and it will go to O'Dwyer. Kick by O'Dwyer towards centre half forward. Steins is there with Lawrence. Ball comes to the back. Steins a bit of a chance. Lovett gets onto it. Flips it over the top. Lovell Hawthorn out of trouble through Collins. On the chest of Condon, who marks at halfback. Condon short pass. Paul Deere drops an easy one. Helped up the ground by Condon. Morrissey seen out of it by Stretch. Tough physical stuff early. Down goes Stretch and a good tackle from Deere. The whistle's gone and it's going to be a Hawthorn free kick to come back to Deere for his tackle.
Who are we tipping today anyway, Dennis?
Melbourne for me.
Melbourne for me. You, Drew?
I'm going for the Demons too.
Here's Deere. High towards centre wing. Big fist from O'Dwyer. Newport. Hurried kick. Straight across the ground. Lawrence going back. Over the top. Cooper couldn't hang on. Ayres to no one in particular. Down went Lovell. This is Lovett. Gets the hand pass away. It was too slick. Pritchard gets back deep in his own defensive area to Langford. Hard against the boundary line. It's a high kick towards the outer side. Half back flank. Dippy at Domenico. Strong mark over the top. He started well every week for the last three. He has faded. They'll need 4 quarters today. Dippy at Domenico towards centre wing. And the ball will come back. A couple of firebrands out there. Dwyer and Dippy at Domenico. Kicks out wide, intended for Platten, who allows it to bounce. Kicks towards half forward. Target is Morrissey, opted out of the contest. Oh, and down went Lyon, and the book will have to come out for that one.
Well, that was unnecessary there by Dermott, and I think Dermott should concentrate on football, and that does not look good.
Not even close to a spoil. I think there's been a report there has.
Yes, Dermott's name's in the book, and I think Dermott just ought to concentrate on getting the ball. He's worried about his opponent last week. That was Peter Dean. The 50-metre penalty also.
That's Whitman who took a tumble. He's one of the great players of the AFL, no question, Dermott Brereton, but his strength is his weakness.
Well, I think they also, the Alan Jones would have put a lot onto Dermott today, expecting to lift this Hawthorn side.
Here's Lyon. In towards half forward with a kick. O'Dwyer, strong hands, takes the mark.
Steve O'Dwyer on the 50. Goes as long as he can. Got a bit of distance. Mark Campbell.
Yes, that's a great mark there by Campbell. A lot of people have knocked Campbell in the past, saying that he hasn't been up to it, but every time I've seen him, he's very lively and always gives 100%.
This is about the angle that Simon Eishold had in that 1987 preliminary final when he kicked it behind. Campbell from point blank range makes no mistake, and the Demons are on the board first. First blood to the Demons, and Brereton already in the book.
Yes, and already again Hawthorn struggling to get the ball out of the middle. Steve O'Dwyer with a long kick towards goal and a very easy mark in the end of Campbell. As we watch it again, Campbell taking the mark in front of the pack. Gary Ayres, a player, picking him up and not even getting in the contest to have a spoil.
Good start to the Demons. O'Dwyer and Greg Deere. Ball comes underfoot. Socket out of there by Deere. Comes to Hughes. Kick by Hughes to half forward. Knocked further afield. Comes to Schwab.
Big fight.
Right behind play in the centre circle. Players getting involved. A pretty tough start to this game. Meantime, Pritchard to centre wing. Whitman. Beaten to it by Yates, who's had a great season. Phoebe loses his footing. Wet surface here at VFL Park. Whistle's gone. It's a free kick. And the free coming back to Graham Yates. No to Phoebe.
Well, you would expect Hawthorn to be fired up after last week. It was a poor performance by them. And there's a couple of their players very willing to have a go early.
Down towards half forward with a kick, Phoebe. Pritchard towards the boundary. Platten escorts it across. Well, one wonders about the wisdom of all of this. The proof of the pudding, as they say. We'll find out later in the day. Similar situation to that with Peter Dean last week and Dermott Brereton. And there's going to be a Melbourne free kick, so the umpires putting their stamp on the game. Steins has got it down towards left half forward. Jim Steins. Centering kick. Lovell fisted away by Cooper, and there's going to be another Melbourne free, so the umpires are reacting, I think. Bennett's going to get this free directly in front.
Free kicks are 4-1 in favour of Melbourne.
And likely to go higher.
Yes, Chris Langford hanging on to Bennett, restricting him from that lead, and he just did not allow him to jump at the ball.
Spare a thought for Rod Grinter watching all of this. It's his birthday today. Not so during the week. There's Bennett from 45 metres out. Pulls it left. Minor score. Melbourne lead.
He can either kick very well or very badly too, Darren Bennett. On a couple of occasions last year he kicked atrociously towards goal. He has been a lot better this year.
Gary Ayres kicks in. A lot of these players involved in the state match during the week. Be interesting to see how they come up. Ayres one of them. Newport kicks into the pack. Comes back to Collins. Fires out a lightning hand pass. And through Anderson it comes to Di Domenico. His kick to centre half forward. Dunstall on the lead. Dives and marks low down.
And did he get trodden on there by Earl Spalding? It appears though he did. His eye doesn't look all that good there, Jason Dunstall. As he takes the mark and slides to the ground, we'll see Earl Spalding continues on. And there it is there, that left knee just hitting him above the left eye or the right eye of Jason Dunstall.
Both had a fair bit of momentum up. Don't know that there was much Spalding could do, but it's closed Jason Dunstall's right eye.
Yes, well, you come in contact with a knee, and it's pretty hard. And Jason Dunstall's eye there definitely blowing up. The free kick will be, well, the kick will be taken by Dipper, Robert Di Domenico.
Goes in short, and Greg Deere takes the mark about 40 metres from goal. Dunstall still in the hands of the trainers. And Greg Deere looking to even up matters. Well, he can't even it up. Melbourne are 1-1. Looking for Hawthorn's first score. Very high. Might not get the distance. Brereton keeps it in. Comes down to Newport. And a great kick by Newport. Finds touch 50 metres from goal.
The question remains, why Dermot Brereton?
Well,
Almost been a goal.
Yeah, it may have been touched by the Melbourne player on the line anyway, Dennis.
Boundary throw in. Dwyer and Dia. Body to body they go. Falls at their feet. Newport with half a chance. Going nowhere. Surrounded by Hawks. And we've got a ball up just inside 50.
They're still giving close attention to Jason Dunstall there. That's a club doctor, Terry Gay. And they're taking him off the ground. So that's a bad blow to Hawthorn early in the match.
That eye is closed right up. Dia shovels it out. Taken by a stretch. Taken high as he kicked. Well, wobbles around the outer side. Obst in front. Well done by Tuck to fist away. Phoebe Hunt against the boundary line to Pritchard. In fact, the ball was out of bounds. It's coming back. Jason Dunstall coming off the ground. So what a blow.
Well, you wonder what sort of chance I'll have at all now, Dennis, because with Dunstall off the ground, that's a big part of Hawthorn's side off the ground too with him.
And bear in mind, Brereton on report. Anderson at close quarters to Tuck. High kick down towards half forward. Whitman surrounded. Strong mark taken by Healy, coming back with the flight of the ball. Plays on quickly. Gets the hand pass away. Phoebe on the outer side. Runs to centre wing. Pumps it long down towards half forward. In front down there is Cooper. Couldn't hang on. Does well on the ground. Dragged off it. Scrambles the kick away. This is Healy. Initially a fumble. Newport. Phoebe. Taken high, and he'll get the free and probably be 50. Now the umpire, I think, will give Dipper the benefit of the doubt. No. 50, he says. And now Phoebe.
Well, you could see there, Dennis, Phoebe heard the whistle because he stopped.
Yep.
And Di Domenico was right next to him, so I'm sure he would have heard it as well.
Might have been a swirling breeze.
Well, the frees are now 5-1, and Melbourne have had two 50s as well.
Well, the umpires aren't fools. I think they realise what happened at the start. Here's Phoebe. He kicks from right on 50. He's off target, and through it goes for a minor score.
Melbourne have all the scores. 1-2 to nothing. Michael Roberts on Jason Dunstall.
Well, we thought that it might have been the right eye, but it's above the right eye on the forehead, and he feels quite faint, so he took himself off the ground.
Well, that's trouble for the Hawks early. The two-star forwards, Brereton and Dunstall, in early trouble. Hand pass by Eichel. Comes to Lovett. Centering kick. Chance here for Bennett. Good mark right in front. He'll be kicking from about 50.
There shouldn't be any worry the distance either to Bennett, because he does kick the ball long distances.
Still day in Melbourne. Bennett from right on the 50. Gets distance easily and kicks the goal. Two to nothing.
And already ominous signs there for Hawthorn. They haven't been able to get the ball into attack. Only on one occasion in this first 11 and a half minutes. A good lead there by Darren Bennett. He's provided a great focal point for the Melbourne side this season, and with the play around the centre of the ground, their Rovers doing well. He's been provided with many opportunities.
So the Demons lead by 14 points in the early going. Platten an opportunity, stopped. Eichel put his head in, and it's a free to Platten. He wants some tape. Somebody stood on his hand.
Oh, gee, they wouldn't want to lose Platten at this stage.
Well, if Alan Jeans could have written the script, all that's happened is what he didn't want to happen. This is Stretch. Down he goes in the tackle. They battle after it, and the umpire will come across and ball it up. So the Hawks, the champs, starting slowly. Melbourne firing out of the blocks to lead by 14 points. Just under 16 minutes remaining in the opening term. Bounce right half forward for Hawthorn. Steins and Dia. They fight a draw. Collins went down. Dippia Dominica gets the hand pass away. Hughes a timely fist. Back into the congestion. Collins goes off the ground. Dippia Domenico battling again. Newport tries to sock it. And the umpire wants it. Plenty of endeavour. Little return that time. Steve Newport having another fine season. Steins and Deere again. Deere wins it this time. Morrissey missed it. Collins has got it. He runs to 50. Can he control it? Strong tackle by Stretch. He didn't have the ball. He hand passed it away. So Collins will get the free.
And Collins seems to be playing on the ball today, Dennis. He was saying in the paper during the week that he's a frustrated rover playing back pocket, so maybe he has his chance today to prove that he can play as a rover.
Yes, he started in the centre square. He'll take a good kick from here. He'll kick from just inside the 50. Brereton and Lyon are down there. Collins' kick falling in short. Paul Deere was in front. Morrissey behind. Goal Hawthorn. Hawthorn 1 goal, Melbourne 2-2.
And I see Dermot Brereton has been moved to full forward. Gary Lyon has gone with him. And Ray Jenke, who went to full forward when Dunstall left the ground, has been moved further up the ground. Earl Spalding following up to centre half forward. Earl Spalding playing at centre half back.
Vital goal that for the Hawks. It could have got out of hand pretty quickly. Condon actually wins the tap in the middle. Taken away by Viney. Love it. In front of Schwab. Sweeps the hand pass into Eichel. Melbourne on the run now. Eichel's kick low. Azuma towards centre half forward. Past Bennett it goes. Socket out of defence. Well done by Cooper to find the safety of the boundary line. Young Paul Cooper playing his first season this year. 6th game of AFL football. Huge pack around this boundary throw in. Comes to the back, all Hawthorn. Collins off the ground. Steins picked it up like a rover and is buried. Play on, says the umpire, and now he's going to give a free kick here to Melbourne. Foot of the pack, Greg Healy. Melbourne skipper. The lead by O'Dwyer. Works to the front, hands to it, but couldn't take the mark. Through goes Lovett, but it's taken by Cooper. He kicks to open spaces. Nobody there for Hawthorn. Leading the race is Viney. Here comes Dippia Domenico. Viney soccers away from him, but runs out of room. It'll be a throw-in.
Boundary throw-in out his side. There's the time remaining in the first term. Campbell doing the ruck work. Deere, as you'd expect, decisively. Anderson couldn't control it though. Obbs did well. Newport in the tackle, tried to get the kick away. There's a free kick going Hawthorn's way.
I think that was for a throw off the ground there, a scoop off the deck there, Dennis.
Michael Tuck. Game number 392. Around the outer side. Dia was up. That was Paul Dia. Steins put his body in. Collins and Steins battle. And there'll be a ball up close to the boundary line. Just touching on Michael Tuck, one of only 9 Hawks to play in every game so far this season. He keeps on keeping on. 8 points the difference. Melbourne lead. Steins and Dia close to the boundary line. Di Domenico. Hasty kick. Did it go out on the full? Yes, it did. Not much percentage in that. Stephen Stretch. Right centre wing. Crowd building all the time. Probably beyond 30 now. Tuck. Great mark. Not paid. Campbell robbed of the ball. Di Domenico. Standing start. Kick to the outer side. His marksman Stretch has got it though. Sends it back down towards the pocket. High shoulders outnumbered. Di Domenico got his hands to it. Condon swung in the tackle. Good strong tackle by Brett Lovett. The ball goes out of bounds.
This is where Melbourne have been doing well this year. They had the numbers to the ball. They've tackled well, and they've had plenty of players there in support around the packs.
Slippery surface. I don't think it's going to be a very pretty game, but lovers of hard, tough AFL football are going to be in for a treat. There's another Hawthorn free kick, so they're starting to even the ledger a bit now. Free kick 7-5. Quickly taken by Tuck. Short of the... Oh, Pritchard, what a mark!
Very courageous mark there by Pritchard. Under a lot of pressure from the Melbourne player.
Unfit to take his place in the Victorian team on Tuesday night, so under some sort of a fitness cloud. Paul Deere. Away to Langford up the ground. Wide to Dean Anderson. Shocking kick by Anderson. Dropping in gap is Steins. Brereton goes to ground. Yates. Platten. Might have been tackled high. Play on. Comes to line. Off the ground, Morrissey. Morrissey's second. The Hawks coming back, trailing by 2.
Yes, they are fighting back through. They're working very hard. Obviously, they don't want to lose 2 in a row and a chance to slip out of the 5. As we look at the replay again, good play by Brereton tapping it on. Johnny Platten tackled well by the Melbourne players, but here's where the mistake was made. Gary Lyon fumbled and really should have tried to force that through for a behind. It spilled free, and Morrissey was there to kick the goal.
Hawthorn coming back. They trail by 2 points. Jamie Morrissey has both their goals. Greg Dia decisively down to Collins in the back surely, and he'll get the free kick. Body's going in solidly, and how about this for bad news? Dermot Brereton is limping off the ground, so Dunstall and Brereton in the dugout. Remarkable, and we've still got 10:30 to play in this opening term. Here's Collins. Wide. Dia takes the mark. Well, they're battling adversity today, and even more so now. Long kick. Greg Dia down towards Platten. Almost the one-hander. Tingay a chance to go up the ground. Pritchard put his body in. Platten off the ball was held. Platten to get the free and a chance for Hawthorn to go in front.
They both held there too, Dennis. Platten was holding before that. The umpire picked up the second bit of holding.
There's the angle. Dunstall off early, and now Brereton. Platten. Misses to the near side, I fancy. So Melbourne lead by a point.
Well, what a star-studded bench. I remember in the mid-80s, at one stage, Hawthorn had Matthews and Knights on the bench. It wasn't a bad 18th and 19th. And this couple of stars would match them. Close to the boundary line, and it goes out at half-back off O'Dwyer. Tough for Hawthorn now, but they trail by just a point after conceding the first 2 goals of the game. Eichhold actually wins the tap. Pritchard pulled off it when he didn't have it. Crowd calling for a free kick, nothing coming. Obbs, off Schwab it goes, out of bounds near centre wing. Alan Jeans, the furrows in his brow deepening with the circumstances here at VFL Park.
Boundary throw in. O'Dwyer behind the pack. Tingay held a long time in the tackle, and the ball up will result. Let's go down to Michael Roberts now for the latest on Brereton.
Yes, Dennis, he's in the dugout, as you said. He's received a solid knee to their right hip, which is affecting his legs, and so he took himself off because he can't run.
There's the bounce. Stretch, brilliantly done. Confronted. Tingay kept it going. Newport gets the kick away towards half forward. Lawrence fist away from Stein. Stein's the better recovery. Gets the hand pass across to Healy. Hurried kick, half blanketed. Lawrence put his body in with courage. And it's a free kick. Kicking in danger and all of that.
Well, I haven't seen one of those for a long time, Dennis.
No.
It's about time they started playing a few of those as well, because it's a very dangerous practice.
The young man from Morningside in Queensland, Steve Lawrence. From centre wing. Goes down towards half forward. Melbourne have got the numbers. Waiting behind Yates. Always going to be his ball. Gets the kick away. Now Hawthorn have got the numbers. Lawrence fisting away from Cooper. Bad football. It falls to Lovett. Goes in short. Looking for the leading Bennett. Campbell leads back in the race. He's deep in the pocket. He pulls it back across his body. It skids. It bounces. It hits the post.
Well, last week, Dennis, Gary Ayres lined up on Satori of Carlton, a player that's much taller than he is, and today he's got the job again on a taller player in Tony Campbell.
Langford kicks to Condon. Condon lost his footing, picked up by Campbell. Centering kick. 35 metres out. Ayres seen out of it by Eichhold. Great pick up by Obbs. The hand pass in. Healy. Hurried kick for goal is offline and out of bounds.
Perfect side bump by Eichhold.
2-point lead to Melbourne. Just on 7 minutes to go to quarter time. Comes to Schwab, running Lawrence. Up the ground to Anderson. Straight through the centre. Anderson to half forward and Platten. Down goes Phoebe. At the back is Spalding. Comes to Yates now. Newport off the ground by Phoebe. Lawrence with Steins.
Oh, that's deliberate. Deliberate for mine, that one. Very obvious.
But the umpire rules a throw in.
Let's have a look. Well, we just didn't see. We saw the end result there, but we didn't see how he tapped it out. Made no attempt whatsoever to keep it back in play.
Boundary throw in. Dwyer's in front. Wins it down. Newport trying to control it with one hand. Dia knocked away from him. With strength, Dipia Domenico. Close to the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full. Yates.
It's twice Dippers kicked out of bounds on the full, once over the other side and now on the member side of the ground.
Yates towards centre wing. Steins couldn't hang on. Obbs was held. Schwab. Lawrence close to the boundary line. Steins and Collins. Strong tackle by the little man. And still they go. Out of bounds and will be thrown in. Collins on top of Steins. Pritchard's there too. 15 is Tingay. 8 is Anderson. No damage done. Great tackle laid though.
He's been pretty aggressive in there, Collins. David and Goliath.
Top player. There's the time remaining. And it's Melbourne by 2 points. Boundary throw in centre wing.
Steins, good punch away. Over the shoulder against Lawrence, and Lawrence will take the free kick. Jim Steins doesn't like it.
Well, I couldn't see it.
I think inadvertently his right hand hit Lawrence in the face.
Hawthorn in front in frees now, 10-8 after being behind. And would you believe it, Jim Steins has come over the mark and given away 50 metres. Same venue as 1987. In those days it was a 15-metre penalty and it cost Melbourne a place in the grand final. This time it's 50.
And the umpire keeps on going.
Free kick by Lawrence. Deer underneath it. O'Dwyer couldn't take the mark. Comes off hands and out of defence by Lovell. Good mark for Steins.
That's 50 as well.
50 again. Well, you give me one, I'll give you one.
He's made up the lost ground. Jimmy Steins, one of the characters. Lawrence about 3 paces too late. Now Steins plays on. Goes long down towards full forward. Bennett. That was a grand mark.
Good player, Darren Bennett, a West Coast Eagles reject. As we have a look at this in replay, Langford just in front, but Bennett just put the arms up. A well-judged mark.
Kicking at his second. Melbourne to lead by 8 points if it's a goal. It is. Melbourne 3-3, Hawthorn 2-1.
And Darren Bennett probably won't come up against a tougher opponent than he has today in Chris Langford. Top full back. There's that mark again, and Bennett, I believe, is a better kick when he's further out from goal, when he's in the 45 to 50 metre range, because he really goes back and kicks right through the ball. And it's a good performance in this first quarter so far by Bennett.
Darren Bennett second on the goal kickers, but his opponents are out of business. Lockett out injured, probably miss 8 weeks, and Dunstall off the ground. So Bennett could finish up being the leading goal kicker this year, perhaps. No Melbourne players ever kicked 100 in a season. Bennett a big chance, averaging over 5 a game. Deere uncontested in the centre bounce. Collins enjoying his run on the ball. In there like a terrier. The umpire calls for it and will ball it up.
Well, it would be a great performance by Hawthorn if they can win today with these two players off the ground, Brereton and Dunstall, their two key forwards. And it's left a big gap in their side.
Alan Jeans down on the boundary line for the last 4 minutes or so of this quarter. Yates, high tackle, will take the free kick. Well, with the way Hawthorn are losing players, Alan Jeans might be recruiting out in the stands today. Good mark by Newport, under pressure. That could nearly have been another 50. We've had a few already. Stephen Newport. Inside the 50 to Bennett. Hands to it, couldn't mark. Tingay caught in a big hurry. Lovell's there.
Oh.
He takes one high.
Was it high or what?
The umpire's going to ball it up. I hope a few of these players have medical and dental health cover.
There's that high tackle there on Andy Lovell. Nearly dragged his head off.
Bounce inside 50. Steins and Deere as the time remaining. Melbourne by 8 points. The breeze not a factor. This is Schwab coming away from half back out wide towards centre wing. Paul Deere surrounded, gets the hand pass away. Needed support, didn't have it. Lyon superbly done. Lyon on the centre wing pulls it back. Great vision. Capped it off.
Brilliant.
Newport. Meantime behind play. Dipper and O'Dwyer. Here's Newport, centre wing, down towards half forward. Steins in front. Lawrence the fist away. Schwab threw it to the ground. Healy. Lawrence got a hand on it. Missed by Langford. Anderson deep in the pocket. Nicely done. Langford, standing kick, back outside 50. Pritchard takes the mark. He's at right half back. He's been lively, winning against Tingay. Towards midfield, missed by Yates. Uncharacteristic. Brilliant pick-up stretch. Away to Yates. Across the centre circle he goes. Newport's got it now to Eishold. 70 metres out from goal. Goes looking for Bennett. Great finish. A chance to kick his third.
It's good work in the middle of the ground there by the Melbourne players in Yates and Stretch. They combined beautifully, and the ball was rebounded quickly into the Melbourne forward line, with Bennett able to get a couple of metres on Chris Langford.
Doesn't happen too often. 3 goals in a quarter against Langford. Bennett kicks truly. Hawthorn in trouble. 4-3 to 2-1.
And that just shows how much trouble they are in with Alan Jeans down on the boundary line. That's not often that you see him down there with the rest of the Hawthorn match committee, having a look at things very closely. A very easy mark there by Darren Bennett, but the good work in the centre of the ground, Yates. And some good handball, a great pick up there by Stephen Stretch, setting it all up.
Bennett already 45 goals for the season. He won Melbourne's goal kickers last year with just 34. We're less than halfway through this year. Here's a Melbourne free kick in the middle. Plenty of frees being paid. Quickly taken down to full forward. It bounces through the pack. Chance for Bennett again. 35 metres out. Couldn't get a handle on the ball. Comes to Schwab. Over to Platten. Dishes it out well to Langford, who puts it wide for Collins, and that was good transfer by Hawthorn out of defence. Condon down the members' boundary. And a good mark to Paul Deere. Into Pritchard on the run. Time running out, 35 seconds left for the term. Jenke can't mark. Comes to the front to Whitman. Hawthorn might get a goal before the siren. The pass to Di Domenico, who's got it in the pocket. He centres any amount of Hawks. Morrissey, he's kicked two but couldn't take that mark. Lovett was there. Great defender. Comes to Morrissey again. Snap for number 3. Offline and almost a mark to Newport. Off Newport out of bounds. And that's the action for the first quarter with the clock ticking down. No time for the throw-in. So at quarter time at VFL Park, Melbourne 4-3, lead Hawthorn 2-1.
It's quarter time at VFL Park, and Melbourne lead 4-3 to 2-1. Darren Bennett has 3 goals for the Demons. Jamie Morrissey 2 for the Hawks.
Today's match is part of the CUB AFL 1990 Premiership season.
Dermot Brereton in the dugout. What a story. Jason Dunstall off the ground injured. It's Australia's Boom Sport, and you can catch all the thrilling action here on 7 Sport. It's the 1990 NBL season. Check your local guides for coverage details. And of course, the round got underway back on Thursday. Some great results, some great games played. Canberra over Westside, Brisbane over Sydney in a thriller. Derek Rucker getting those late points there. Adelaide over North Melbourne. So North lose their first game of the season. Geelong, their second victory of the season over the Canberra Cannons. And Melbourne, I think it's the other way they, Drew? I think so. East side 111 to 110 at the Glass House last night. John Northey comes off the ground. Just repeating, Dunstall off injured. Brereton reported and off injured. And we're told David Rees-Jones is on report at Princes Park. So that's a pretty hectic half hour. Let's go around the grounds. Out at Windy Hill, Essendon coming back at St Kilda, who led by about 4 goals midway through the term. Saints still in front there. At Princes Park, Carlton by 2 points against the Lions. And Collingwood over North by 22 points. Let's go down to Michael Roberts.
Well, thanks, Dennis. It was a very concerned Alan Jeans with Brereton and Dunstall off the ground. He wants the forward line to be open. He wants the ball kicked in quickly and the on-ball players to do the rest. And he said there's too many loose Melbourne players. On the other hand, John Northey felt that they wasted opportunities. They should be further in front and they must score when the ball hits the forward line.
Start of the second quarter, it was 7 scoring shots to 3 in the first quarter. A 14-point lead to the Demons. O'Dwyer helped back by Collins for Hawthorn. Up the ground by Dippia Domenico to Whitman. His left footer to Platten. Dives, good mark. Great mark, Johnny Platten. Now that time he had pace off the mark. He hasn't had it for a month.
No, he's moving a lot freer this week. That was a very big brace he had on the leg last week, and it surely would have restricted him.
Distance will test. About 50 metres out. Not a bad effort. It's home. Great kick by Johnny Platten. First blood in the second term to the Hawks. They trail 3-1 to 4-3.
And a player that Hawthorn rely very heavily on has been restricted, obviously, since he strained a medial ligament in a pre-season game against Sydney Swans. But obviously not restricted there with that kick. A long kick there from about 45 metres out. Carried the goal square quite easily.
Back in the middle, 27 to 19. O'Dwyer opposed to Deer, falls at their feet. Newport's over the ball. And another bounce. So Hawthorn showing plenty of fight. Now something happened off the ball. Collins gets a free kick. Plays on quickly. Goes out wide. And the mark is taken by Pritchard. Pritchard wants to play on and does. Gets a good shepherd from Whitman. The kick not a good one though. Eichhold in the road. Away to Lovell, who boots towards midfield. Steins takes the mark. Plays on quickly. Back to Lovell. Under pressure. Hurried kick only goes about 30 metres. Obst, who's been quiet, got a fist on that one. Schwab was slung. Well played by Tuck to get it across to Lawrence. Obst again. Dropped by O'Dwyer. Play goes on. Lovell the hand pass out wide. Steins got the run of it now. He's at right half forward. Goes down towards the pocket. Bennett. Oh, what a great fist in there. A timely one from Langford gets it out of bounds. Bernie Quinlan, the president of the Chris Langford fan club, nods knowingly. He's done that before, has he, Bernie?
I've had some hard days on Chris Langford.
I gathered.
He's a very good fullback.
There's the boundary throw in. Steins wrestling with Lawrence. And as is generally the custom, it goes to the defensive ruckman.
Kick across the half-back line to Schwab, who marks at centre half-back. He straightens right up to the centre circle. Whitman's there, one hand not enough. Helped up the ground by Phoebe. Lovell. Blind hand pass finds Lovett. He's slung but gains 10 metres. Tuck. Watch Hawthorn now. They really have their backs to the wall and this club does not lack character. Pritchard goes backwards. High kick by Anderson. Short of the 50-metre line. Yates in front of Platten this time. Well played by Graham Yates. Lyon. Oh, shocking kick by Lyon. Goes to Paul Deer. He centres. Whitman stumbles but has time to recover. Gets the hand pass off to Jenke. Jenke puts it out in front of Condon. 30 metres out from goal. Wider still. Chance here for the Hawks. And the snap for goal is good by Madigan. His first touch is a goal. Hawthorn coming back.
Yes, as you said, Drew, with their backs to the wall, I think we'll see the best of the Hawthorn side today. There's no doubt they're fighters. It's just whether they have the personnel to convert today with, as I said, Dunstall and Burton off the ground. A lot of inexperience in this Hawthorn side. And Melbourne with a chance to stay on top of the ladder, their best chance ever to win the flag. They will be hard to topple also.
2 points the margin. Great start to the second term by the Hawks.
O'Dwyer goes over the top. Brett Lovett couldn't control it. Down went Phoebe. Picked up by Collins. Gets it away to Whitman. Scrambles a kick forward. Hughes is there and stands his ground. So Hawthorn, as you'd expect, throwing everything at the Demons despite their losses. This is Steins from half-back to centre wing and Eichel. He drops it, stretches outside him, bought himself some time. Well played, goes in short. Not a good kick though. This is Schwab, claimed by Obst, got the hand pass away, was held a long time in the tackle. No free kick. This is Cooper with some time. Out wide, Paul Deer's got it, draws a man and goes over the top. Anderson cruises down from centre wing towards the pocket. Spalding, Dippy and Domenico waiting behind, hooks it across his body. That's a wayward kick. It's gone out of bounds on the full.
For the third time for Dippy and Domenico as well, Dennis, so some of his kicks very wasteful.
Graham Yates, one of the stars of the season, playing on John Platt. O'Dwyer in the middle of the pack, couldn't take the mark. Helped up by Viney. Phoebe couldn't get a possession. Oh, gee, some solid stuff going on there. Fly hacks at the ball. Hawthorn free kick. Quickly taken by Melbourne free kick rather. Off the line. And they gain about 35 metres. The ball out of bounds, centre wing.
Michael Tuck again with a big job, picking up Andrew Wobst, who's been a very impressive player for Melbourne in the early part of the season.
Lawrence to do battle against Steins. Steins wins it. Collins sharks it. He's kicked no great distance. Lyon off the ground. Comes to Hughes. Opens up play towards the members' side of the ground. Stretch leads the race. Awkward slippery ball. Madigan did very well there. Started in the grand final last year, but his hand pass astray. Newport to Eichel. Out to Campbell, centre wing. Campbell's kick to half forward. Lovett had to keep his eyes on the ball, but he was swamped eventually. Off to Tuck. Tuck's kick up to Madigan, who couldn't mark. He flips it up the ground.
Well, I thought Madigan there was held by Tony Campbell and very unlucky not to get the free kick.
19.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Simon Eichel, bounce on centre wing. Steins did well, down to Lovell. Hurried kick towards half forward mark is taken by Ayres. Ayres squares it. This is Lawrence running away from half back. Good shepherd by Lawrence as he ran on. Bought some time for Schwab, who kicks it out wide. Mark is taken by Paul Deer. Plays on immediately, a centering kick. Flattened, valiant attempt to mark. Couldn't hang on. Eichel on his knees gets the hand pass away. Phoebe goes off the ground. Brett Lovett. Quick hand pass away. Lovell the kick. Down went Lovett off the ball. Steins crashing his way through though Cooper. Well played there by Lawrence. Got it down to Cooper. Swings it out wide. Collins has got it now. Collins towards the pocket. Over the top Spalding. Cleverly done by Viney. Got it away to Yates. Yates back towards the members' wing. Stretch in front. Gets the mark.
Yeah, very good mark there by Stephen Stretch. A lot of pressure being applied there by Greg Madigan.
This game has picked up in pace in the second quarter, all due to Hawthorn, who are dominating. Melbourne haven't scored in this term. They lead by just 2 points. Comes through to Lovell. He had time to look for a teammate in field. Puts out in open spaces. Campbell looking for O'Dwyer. Luckily comes back to Campbell. He just blazes away towards the boundary line. Bennett looking for his opponent. Finished up not getting the ball. Cooper, who was brilliant a moment ago. O'Dwyer intercepts his pass.
Well done, Steve O'Dwyer. Read that play very well, chipping in there, taking the mark.
Well, with the star forwards off the ground, you wouldn't back Hawthorn with counterfeit money. But ever since that happened, they've narrowed the gap. O'Dwyer's pass is good for Bennett. And this will be Melbourne's first shot at goal this quarter. Bennett, who kicked 3 in the first term, beat the old legs of Michael Tuck to that one. Kicking from 45 metres. It's away to the right. And that's 3-2 to Darren Bennett. Melbourne's first score for the quarter. And we've been playing about 8.5 minutes.
Gary is to bring it in. Goes in short.
Ooh, that's
Anderson stretching back to take that mark. Plays on quickly by hand. Condon out of the back pocket. Off the ball. Lovett went down hard. This is Stretch against the boundary line. Gets the hand pass away. O'Dwyer. Ball jarred free. He goes off the ground. Lovell's got it now. Back towards Stretch. Met solidly by Condon. Still Stretch goes. And the ball goes out of bounds as Anderson came in for the Hawks.
They're certainly putting a lot of physical pressure on Melbourne today, Hawthorn. It's probably the hardest I've seen them tackle. Last week they weren't in the play at any stage, but today they've certainly put their bodies in and have made it very difficult for Melbourne to break free.
O'Dwyer was in front. There was no free kick. Schwab got it across towards Condon. Lovell trying to crash his way through. Healy goes off the ground. O'Dwyer paddles it back through his legs. Obst couldn't move it very far. Cooper, the hurried defensive kick. But Tingay has got some space on the outer side. Gathers the ball just outside 50. Measures the options. Kicks into open space. Awkward half volley for O'Dwyer. Did brilliantly initially. Down goes Lovell. Socket off the ground by Deere. And the umpires decided it was held to him. Well, of all the alternatives there, I doubt that was the one.
Yeah, that was a great tackle applied by Michael Tuck, and I think he should have been rewarded with the free kick.
The ball just went loose in any case, didn't it?
Light drizzle here at VFL Park. It's a real Scottish mist. Out of there by Deere, Greg Deere. Campbell leads the race. Paul Deere after him. Good pick up by Campbell, but he missed his kick. And Deere came out with it. Back to Condon. The kick towards the centre of the ground. Dippy Domenico from behind. Gets a fist on it. Platten gets a further fist on it. Roving Whitman keeps the ball in.
Free kick to Johnny Platten.
Well, Platten playing forward pocket today and doing well. Spalding hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Off the line. Short pass to Eishold. Feeds off the hand pass to Lovell. Over the top. Mightn't have been the right option there for Tingay. He's caught by Platten. Play on, says the umpire. Hurried kick out of there by Lovell. He's intercepted by Madigan in the centre circle.
Madigan a little indecisive. Goes straight down the middle now. Lyon at the fall of the ball. Couldn't hang on. Spalding an opportunity. Todd Viney crashed into him. Paul Deere battling with Cooper, or rather Collins. Campbell gets a hand pass away. Eventually Yates, only about 15 metres. Lawrence takes the mark. Wants to play on, goes out wide. Pritchard is there. Juggled attempt at the mark, not paid. On his knees, gets the hand pass across to Madigan. Slung, got the hand pass to Deere. Paul Deere measures it nicely. Pritchard, they're under pressure. Whitman gets the kick off eventually. Not a good looking one. It goes down towards the pocket and ricochets off the pack. Out of bounds in the left full forward pocket.
Dermot Brereton in the dugout. Jason Dunstall must have gone straight up to the rooms. Paul Deere against Steins. Platt thrashed in a big tackle by Lyon. Whew, that would have hurt.
Yeah, there was no way he was going to get out of that one, was there? It's a good tackle there by Gary Lyon. Brilliant tackle.
Ball up. Further chance for the Hawks. Lyon can't find touch. Dippy Domenico did well to stay in. Used his strength. Centering kick. Spalding thrashed an opponent down. Morrissey hacks for goal. Just offline. Morrissey's kicked 2 goals, 1.
Well, it's the type of day today, Drew, where maybe Dunstall and Burton off the ground won't make so much difference because it's a very greasy surface on the ground. We wouldn't see a lot of high marks taken on the forward line anyway. And the way Hawthorn are doing it at the moment with the run up the ball and the support for each other, that may be the way to win the game.
Phoebe kicks in. Condon, the hurried kick. Yates did brilliantly. Todd Viney gets it away. Campbell, a hurried kick, not a particularly good one. Slews off the side of his boot. Steins a fist on it. Surely in the back. Madigan will get the free kick. He ducked, said Steins, but Madigan was in the process of gathering the ball. He's about 70 metres out from goal. Paul Deere will get the fly from the side. Got hands to it, couldn't take the mark. Spalding went to ground. Jenky's got it now. Flush in the face of Platten. Pritchard dives in. It's not pretty, but believe me, it's tough. Lovell trying to move the ball. Eishold goes off the ground. And it's out of bounds. And they take a breather. Uncompromising football this Just under 13 minutes remaining till half-time. Melbourne lead by 2 points. Steins the fist on it. Platten couldn't control it. Dippy at Domenico. Could have been carried forward. He's over the ball. He flicks it out now. Schwab an opportunity inside 50. Made it hard for Collins. Campbell knocked it away. This is Anderson. Lays it off nicely. Collins from 55. Upended as he kicked. Phoebe goes off the ground out wide. Hughes battling out there with Ayres.
And now a sprint on for the ball between Whitman and Phoebe. Phoebe gains some ground for Melbourne. And the ball out of play just before centre wing. Brings the crowd to their feet. This is great stuff. Real hard battle. Dennis, you used a boxing quote earlier on. Another one comes to mind. Champions get up when they can't. And Hawthorn down and out within 15 minutes of the start of this game, making a real contest of it, trailing by 2 points.
You got one, Bernie?
No, I haven't got any more to add to that, Dennis, but the thing today I've noticed with Andrew Collins on the ball has given them a big lift around the packs.
Steins might have beaten Lawrence. It's underfoot again. Is Healy holding it? Umpire's going to ball it up. Very low scoring quarter. Melbourne have added just one behind. Hawthorn 2 goals 1. Steins straight back out of bounds for another throw-in. Have memories of this ground. 1987. I'm sure nobody's ever let him forget it. And he followed his marksman across the mark, gave away 15 metres to Gary Buckenara, and he goaled for the Hawks after the siren to get them into the grand final. Love it. Gained some ground to half forward. Schwab is back there. Slippery turf. Oh, great pick-up by Obbs. Finds Healy. Bit of space now for Melbourne. Healy from 55 metres. Long, but nobody there. And Langford, Bernie Quinlan's nemesis, back there to mark on his chest. Short pass is dangerous. High-shoulder marks.
Well, he's let all the good work down there, Chris Langford. Very dangerous short pass out of defence.
Could still be too far out to score. Kicking from 50 with a wet ball. O'Dwyer comes to the back of the pack. Lawrence clears for the Hawks. Stretch, great pace. Just tipped off his feet just before the boundary line and comes up hurt too, Stephen Stretch.
Both players limping after that. Madigan as well.
Another chance for the Demons. Clean possession, Healy. Cooper. Obbs did well. Umpire's going to have to ball it up again.
Just under 10 minutes remaining till half-time. Andrew Obbs, number 29, well held by Michael Tuck today so far. Here's the bounce. O'Dwyer, but reaching over the top, Dia. Tuck in the midst of all of that. Hughes has got the ball, but not for long. So Melbourne led by 14 points at quarter time. Hawthorn have come storming back. 2 early goals and now this war of attrition. There's Dermot Brereton wincing in pain as he tries to walk, so he won't be back, I'd suggest. Dunstall off the ground with a forehead injury. Collins misses. Off the ground by Madigan. Diving attempt at the mark. Not paid to Paul Deere. Campbell comes away with it. Not a particularly good kick. Great courage shown by Ayres. Couldn't hang on. This is Pritchard in heavy traffic. Gets the kick away out towards the boundary. Stretch leads in the race. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in.
Well, it was a push in the back anyway. Even though Paul Deere didn't take the mark, Campbell right in the middle of his back gave him a shove.
They're all feeling this. Hughes is coming off the ground. Brian Wilson preparing to come on. No doubt John Northey looking for more firepower. Pritchard gets the kick away. Courage shown by a couple of Melbourne players there, one of whom appear to be held without it. Todd Viney, no free. Condon back through midfield. Lyon is up. Takes the mark.
Wilson about to get his first touch. Just on the ground. Back from injury, Brian Wilson. Dive by Campbell and a mark right on centre wing. Wilson did well and he's running past to get another touch. Healy met solidly by Cooper. Collins stayed in for a while. Collins gained about 15 metres. A boundary throw in. Well, this is a brawl. It's not really a a boxers contest. Deere and O'Dwyer. Obst, a little one to Wilson. Rather Newport. High kick, no distance. Di Domenico, smothered by Obst. Well played, out to Lovell. He's kicked wide and out of bounds in the forward pocket.
Well, they're soaking up a lot of pressure at the moment, aren't they, Hawthorn?
Yes, they are, Dennis. It's been a good performance by Hawthorn in this first half. Michael Tuck appears to have picked up Brian Wilson since he came onto the ground.
Boundary throw in. Deere and O'Dwyer. Newport couldn't get through. Schwab. Again Schwab. Away he comes. Well played. Dogged defence. Drives it back towards midfield. Di Domenico in front. Fisted away by Lyon. Falls for Whitman. He's away. Runs through centre. Goes long down towards full forward. Jenkie's the target. Almost the mark too. Couldn't hang on. Yates at close quarters to Spalding. Now he's in trouble. Tackled by Jenkie. Great shepherd Jenkie. Into an open goal. Platten. Great team goal. Hawthorn lead 5-2 to 4-4 against the trend of play.
Well, Johnny Platten kicks his second goal, both in this second quarter. And it's been a spirited performance by Hawthorn. As we have a look at this in replay, Graham Yates, a poor hand pass there to Will Spalding, which allowed Hawthorn in. Johnny Platten doing the crumbing, running in and kicking a very easy goal.
Great stuff by Hawthorn. And Johnny Platten's got the pace back in his legs after that knee injury in the pre-season Foster's Cup in Canberra. Who would have thought that the Hawks could lead by 4 points? Melbourne kicked the first 2 goals of the game and the Hawks star forwards were off the ground. Deere tries one off the ground. Comes to Tingay, off to Healy. In the direction of Wilson. Ayres with him. Free kick to Ayres being held by Brian Wilson. Puts it wide. Any amount of Hawks out there. It's taken by Anderson. 6 minutes remaining to half time. Dean Anderson, short pass. Condon gets in just short of it. And the ball off him out of bounds. I don't think it was Condon's fault, although he made it look as though it was his fault. The kick dropped a little bit short. Dinosaurs go for it. Deere. And out of bounds again. We've had a lot of throw-ins, a lot of ball-ups. Not too many marks. But what a contest. 4 points the margin. The Hawks in front.
Deere and O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer eventually took an eternity to come down that ball. Eichhold knocks it on. Collins escorts it across the boundary line. So Hawthorn defying the odds at the present time to lead 5-2 to 4-4. And Steins and Lawrence will go at it. Lawrence worth a kick. Greg Deere couldn't control it. O'Dwyer didn't look at the ball. Campbell, Deere with great courage trying to knock it on. Todd Viney the hurried kick. Steins couldn't control it. Brett Lovett's got it now on centre wing towards half forward. Collins drifting across behind. It was Cooper who knocked it forward. Schwab to Tuck. Tuck squares the ball. Langford peeling off from full back. In short. 2 Hawthorn players. Madigan crashed into Pritchard.
Oh, that was great courage there shown by Madigan.
He's got the free kick. Well marked, more particularly.
Well, he was limping a while ago after a clash with Stretch and now limping again after a clash with a teammate. Across to Deere. Tingay did well, Lovell did well to spoil. Comes to Newport. Bennett outnumbered 2 to 1. Almost. Oh, he came back to him for a mark. Up before acceptances. He completed the mark on his back. Darren Bennett, 2 kicks from goal. Glenn Lovett on the ground for the Demons. Marks on the 50. Got Steins in the goal square. In that general direction. Steins swamped. Gets the hand pass back to Bennett. High kick. Wilson. Ayres with him. Wilson keeps his footing. Back to Newport. Snap. Melbourne's first goal for the quarter. Well done by Newport. What a slog it was. And the Demons are back in front.
There's a tremendous battle here at VFL Park. I'd like to have a look at that hand pass there by Wilson. It certainly looked like a throw. A very iffy hand pass. He made the attempt after the ball had gone. But the umpire missed that one. I definitely feel that was a throw by Brian Wilson, but a badly needed goal to Melbourne.
Melbourne back in front. They lead by 2 points. There's the time remaining in the first half. Condon down towards half forward. This is Whitman leading in the race. Phoebe does well. Morrissey running away from his own goal. Pulls it back across his body, intended for Paul Deere. He's wide of the mark, downward stretch, and it will be a Melbourne free kick at half back. Stephen Stretch, the best and fairest in 87, recruited from West Torrens. High kick towards centre wing. O'Dwyer's the target, almost the mark, couldn't hang on. Forward by Newport. Collins does well with dash, and again, he's played well today. Over the ball, Pritchard keeps it going Hawthorn's way, off the ground by Newport though. With the run of it, Viney sockers it out towards left half forward. Langford again with dash, comes up from full back. Oh, very adroit if you don't mind. Gets it across towards Dippy Domenico. Back it comes to Langford. The little 1-2 around the outer side. Paul Deere's got it. Hits the ground running. Spears the pass in. Awkward half volley for Anderson. Shrugs the tackle. Well, almost. Gets it across to Condon. Condon inside 50. Jenke on the lead. Tracking him. Watchfully is Spalding. Jenke too nimble. Gets the kick away. Charged down by O'Dwyer. Picked up well by Stretch. Hurried kick back towards midfield. Clever mark, Brett Lovett. Plays on quickly to Glenn Lovett. Goes in short with the kick. Lovell. Tough trio. Eishold's got the run of it. Inside 50. Great use of the body, Dippy Domenico.
Well, that was brilliant to set it up for Langford. Langford out to Cooper. Off the ground is the way to go. What a pick-up by Collins. Sweeps the hand past 20 metres for Condon. Back to Collins, who kept going. Hawthorn looking $1 million. Andy Collins goes long for Platten, who leads from the pocket, but they chopped him off early. Spalding got in front.
Some marvellous football played there by both sides for no return. Both sides back on the ground at VFL Park as we go to the cult following of Bernie Quinlan's chalkboard.
Well, Dennis, it's not very easy to work out strategies today because it's more like a game of rugby with both sides really getting the numbers to the ball. But on a couple of occasions I've noticed on the Hawthorn forward line, since they've lost Dunstall and Brereton, that the forward line players are lining up in a straight line. 4 players out from the goal square, starting off with a player there, 1 player there, and there. You've got the 4 players within the 50-metre line, all in one straight line, which allows players to lead to either side and out to the flanks. They're not crowding the forward line. Usually as the forwards line up, they line up and it does fill the forward line space up. The way Hawthorn are lining up there on that forward line, they're allowing players room to move in out to the flanks. So it's not a bad move by Hawthorn.
In South Australia, round 6 continuing today. North Adelaide off to a good start
against Woodville. Centrals by a point over Sturt. And West Adelaide lead Port. The second half then at VFL Park. Melbourne by 8 points. It's been a slogging affair. Deere and O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer wins it. Anderson misses the ball. Schwab, who's on report. Obbs working hard. We've got a whistle and a bounce.
Been a dull, overcast day all day. Flags are starting to move a little bit at the moment. Right to left in this third quarter. Deere wins. Hacked out of the air by Campbell. A lot of soccer tactics being employed. Newport. Melbourne up to half forward. Ayres chops them off. A bit too fast for Deere. Tunnelled by Steins. Eventually Ayres again. Ball bouncing end on end. Jenke gets rid of Spalding. Oh, he showed some courage to go in there. Platten, hair trailing behind. Up to Di Domenico. He was from behind, so he punched down to the front. Jenke. Platten offering a lot of run. Jenke on the turn, very wide, all Melbourne back there. And the ball's out of bounds in the forward pocket.
Well, that's an interesting move. It looks like Robert Di Domenico is playing at full forward. I don't think he would have lined up there too many times in his career.
And Todd Viney's gone with him. Boundary throw in, left full forward. The Hawks attacking. O'Dwyer. Campbell rather tentative there. Spalding. Good tackle by Deere. Collins to Pritchard. From about 30 metres towards full forward. Di Domenico and Viney. And Lovett comes over the top. Glenn Lovett. And forces her behind. Can the Hawks get back? They've shown great courage. Dunstall off very early. And in the first quarter, a little bit later, Brereton came off as well after being reported. Tingay misses the ball. Phoebe's got it. Glenn Lovett now from left half back towards centre wing. One-handed up was Lovell. Cooper gets the hurried kick back towards the wing. Tingay, nice mark. Wants to play on. Into the path of Glenn Lovett. No one up ahead. Gathers it nicely. Gets around Condon. The centering kick, ill-directed. Cooper's in front. Eichel gave a contest from behind. Newport couldn't control it. Sliding in was Anderson. Did nicely. Gets the kick away. Again, it comes back to centre wing. O'Dwyer over the top. Only as far as Pritchard. Slung as he tried to kick. Tingay did well. Put his body in. Still he goes, Tingay. Knocks it forward. Charging back in the other direction was Pritchard. Going nowhere. And they're slogging it up.
Gee, they'll know they've played a game of football today. Last up, Simon Eichel. Misty Hayes over VFL Park. Deere over the top wins. Taken by Obst. Kick inside 50. And brilliantly cut out there by Cooper, who's been pretty impressive. But it flipped out to Wilson. Wilson's kick's a mile off the side of his boot. Out of bounds on the bounce, so we'll have a throw in. So Melbourne back into attack. They lead by 7 points in a low-scoring slog. Full forward and full back doing the ruck work. Ayres is there for Hawthorn. Feeds it off to Lawrence. Over the top to Anderson, who has time to fumble. Keeps the ball low. A skimming ball to Pritchard. Darren Pritchard up to half forward. Paul Deere will be met by Yates, who left Platten. Platten came back at the contest. Brilliant. Ball kept in by Whitman. And solid body work by Campbell sees it out. Well, this is the return of John Platten today, no doubt about that.
Being used sparingly though on the ball, Drew, so they're still obviously worried about that knee injury with Andy Collins doing most of the roving.
Boundary throw in. Goes behind the pair of the big fellows. Brett Lovett went in. There's a free kick going Melbourne's way. And Tingay, he's a real terrier. Likes to burrow in. He's up towards left centre wing. Not a good kick. Wobbles it down towards half forward. Obst behind, too slow. Lawrence did well. Just pushes it across the boundary line. Great courage shown by the Hawks today. Still anyone's game.
Just over 20 minutes remaining in this third term. Steins and Lawrence. Lawrence concedes front position but wins it decisively down to Collins. Hurried kick, and the mark is taken by Stretch. Stretch wants to play on and does. Long kick inside 50. Langford fisting away. Waiting in front, Greg Deere to tuck. Condon's got it now, forward of centre half back. Kicks through centre. Whitman in from the side. No contest though. Campbell takes the strong defensive mark. Runners to the outer side wing. One of whom is Newport, called out of it by Brett Lovett. He's forward of centre wing. Inside 50, Wilson.
Ryan Wilson sees a man unmarked. Steins marks. Oh, he should have marked. He dropped a sitter. It comes to Collins. And now Hawthorn out of trouble again. Melbourne will have to set up all over again. Stretch. Beats Jenke to it. Fends off an opponent. Madigan came back pretty well. Great tackling. Jenke eventually for Hawthorn to half forward. Morrissey through his hands to Di Domenico. Lyon, great tackle. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Di Domenico penalised.
Well, Di Domenico did try to fend off Gary Lyon, who's about to apply that tackle, and the umpire did the right thing. Rewarded the tackler.
In short is Newport. He's kicked to the centre of the ground. Healy. We wanted to go on with it. O'Dwyer's given him some space up at half forward. Healy goes to a 3-on-3 contest. It comes through the pack to O'Dwyer. Feeds out the hand pass to Eishold. Hops over the top and on his own in the goal square is Lovell.
Cheeky smile.
Amazing the ball could come through that contest of half a dozen players so easily to O'Dwyer. But slippery ball. Sometimes the man behind can get the easy possession. Andy Lovell, Tasmanian. Pops it through for an easy goal. That's the first goal of this third quarter, and it's a 13-point lead to the Demons.
And Jimmy Steins would be breathing a little easier after that Melbourne goal, because he missed a sitter there a minute ago and allowed Hawthorn in to transfer the ball down to the other end of the ground very quickly. Good play by Eishold on that occasion. Seeing Andy Lovell alone in the goal square, chipped it over to him and set up the easy goal.
Dangerous time this for Hawthorn. They trail by 13 points in the context of a low-scoring affair. Quite substantial. Debris is not a factor. Rucks go at it. O'Dwyer down to Newport. Gets the kickoff. Tucks in the road. From half-back. Sends play towards the outer side. Spalding's in front. Jenke from behind does well. Got it on the ground. Whitman rather tentative. Picked up by Paul Deere. Stood up in the tackle. It was going to be laid by Yates and does brilliantly. Gets it to Anderson, who's inside 50. Kick from about 45 metres out. Dean Anderson. Steady game so far. Has it got the carry? Doesn't matter. Great mark taken down there by Paul Deere. Running with the flight of the ball, going back on Lyon. He's marked about 3 metres out.
And incidentally, Dennis, he's the player that did chip the ball over to Dean Anderson. And he's moved down to the forward line to take a great mark.
Much improved player. Paul Deere. They need this one. He's hit the post halfway up. Bad blemish, that one. No, the umpire's gone across. Man had come over the mark. That's Lyon. So now the penalty takes him back between the posts. He can't go any further back. And now
Lyon's reported, I think.
No, he's warning him, I think, Drew.
Well, he threatened to go for the borough.
Any more? Yes, he is reporting him.
He's got him.
Well, I must admit, Dennis, I did not see the incident that warrants the 50-metre penalty being applied.
Well, Lyon's saying he didn't go over the mark. Now, it'll be interesting when that gets to the tribunal. The question will be, did in fact he go over the mark, so we could have the tribunal adjudicating on an umpire's decision.
Well, I don't think it really will matter when it gets to the tribunal what happened on the mark. It's just what he did say to the umpire.
Deere gets the goal. So, the crowd in splendid voice yet again as Hawthorn wrench it back to 7 points.
Well, there's Gary Lyon, the player that was involved. Bad blue on his behalf, arguing with the umpire, because there's nothing anyone can do once the decision's been made. There's no use arguing with him. You can argue until you're black and blue in the face. The umpire's certainly not going to change his decision.
It's going to be a pretty busy night at AFL House on Monday night. Some champions going up to front the tribunal. Ball up back in the middle. And Steins wins and gets the free kick as well. Gary Lyon will be busy. He'll be there as a witness for Dermot Brereton and up himself. And Chris Mitchell has laid a few of these reports today, so he'll be busy as well, the umpire. Comes back to Healy. Healy's kick to full forward. Eichel, good mark, plays on, but misses everything.
Well, Simon Eichel undid all the good work. That was a great mark going back with the flight of the ball. And not very happy with himself.
Well, coming back to haunt him, that 87 preliminary final, same end of the ground. Eichel wins this tap. Newport. Out of his hands by Ayres. Lovett missed it, picked up by Pritchard. Long kick by Darren Pritchard. A fly in the middle of the ground, almost a mark to Jenke. Jenke steals the ball. Whistle's gone, the umpire's going to ball it up just as Hawthorn came clear.
Well, there's been some strange umpiring decisions today, Drew, I feel. Been hard to follow on a number of occasions.
7 points the margin, the D's in front.
Tough game to umpire by the same token. Eichel does nicely. Into the path of Healy. Coming the other way was Wilson to Newport. Out wide goes the kick. Bennett leading. Langford closing, and it bounces out of bounds. Let's go down to Michael Roberts with some more news on injured players.
Thanks, Dennis. And Andrew Ops received a hefty kick into the knee, and he's been replaced by Greg Healy. And also an update on Jason Dunstall. He has a depressed region above the right eye socket.
It's bad news as Ayres gets a kick away. Steins reaching over the top, fisting away. Campbell scrambles a kick forward inside 50. Ball in open space. Some indecision. Greg Deere trying to slap it away. Melbourne an opportunity now. It comes to Bennett. Cooper came through. It was knocked into his legs. Newport goes off the ground. Healy the hand pass away. Bennett's left foot no good. Tuck in the grass. Gets the kick off. Hectic stuff. Collins goes for the boundary line. He almost finished up across the boundary line.
That'll be 50 metres again.
Kick. And 50.
Yeah, 50 metres against Jimmy Steins. The second one against Jimmy Steins today. Once that whistle is blown, the players have to be very careful.
Jim saying he couldn't hear the whistle.
Not surprised, there was a bit of a din going on at the time.
Andrew Collins with the ball. He's tried very hard. Maybe his side's best player, Dippia Domenico. Great mark, plays on quickly. Anderson in trouble, back to Dippia Domenico. Made a mess of that. And Hawthorn forced to go very wide. This is Pritchard, he's been lively. In trouble, does nicely. Pritchard, right half forward, pulls it back, Platten's in front. And should get 50.
Oh, no, Dennis. No, I think Yates was definitely entitled to put the pressure on there.
There's no 50.
Short. Morrissey drops the mark. Here's now Morrissey's gone to full forward instead of Dippia Domenico. Here's a high tackle on Yates. And Graham Yates just may have lowered his colours for the first time today. Platten in the forward pocket all day. Kick by Yates over halfback. Spoil from behind by Schwab, who's in the book. So 3 players have been reported here today. Schwab, Brereton, and now Gary Lyon. Steins and Lawrence. Steins did well. Tingay, a mighty torpedo kick, goes 60 metres. Longest kick for the day. Wilson off the ground. Just getting trouble getting a possession. Gets it back to Newport well. Lovell wide towards the pocket. Bennett leading. Keeps it in for Glenn Lovett. Wilson. Actually, Lovett's kick scores. He didn't want it to. Scores are behind.
Best point of the season, that one. A high point. Alan Jeans on the phone there, I think. It was John Northey hiding behind The selector. As Langford kicks in, members side. Anderson knocks it forward. Opportunity for Tuck to Lawrence at right half back. Chips it out wide. Depi Domenico gets rid of his marker. Knocks it on brilliantly. Whitman's got it. Penalised for a throw. Gee, that's a tough one.
That's real tough too, because Hawthorn had the run on and Whitman had an open forward line to run into.
That looked okay. Viney down towards half forward. The umpire's getting embroiled in some controversy in this game. Healy pulls it back. Going back is young Cooper. Defiant mark. Plays on immediately with some space. Nothing much happening down the ground. Goes in short. Condon at centre half back. Ayres is hurt.
How many more stars can go down?
Exactly. Anderson got into the back of the Melbourne player Healy, according to the umpire. No much doubt about that. Healy's forward of left centre wing. Light rain just starting to fall again. Not a good kick. Cooper the sliding mark. He's at right half back. Plays on quickly to Condon. Condon's away across half back, squaring the ball. Madigan fisted away by Stretch. Coming through Eichel, tries to get it back to Stretch. Schwab's in there, spills back through the legs. Diving on top of it, Whitman, cleverly done. Got it to Condon, at close quarters to Schwab.
Out to Jenke at centre wing. Wide open forward line for the Hawks. Ray Jenke's left footer for Platten. Oh, what a mark! Sensational Johnny Platten. Wet ball and all. He goes long. Kicks 45 metres. Deer in front, can't mark. Campbell missed it. Comes to Anderson. But his snap doesn't come back far enough.
Making some mistakes, Melbourne.
I get the feeling that Hawthorn should be closer than what they are. 7 points down, and there's Dermott Brereton.
And Gary Buckenara. So talk about some of the stars missing from Hawthorn. You almost forget about Gary Buckenara. Lyon kicks in. Steins marks. I think he had control of that pretty well.
He hasn't had a great day though, Jimmy Steins. 5 kicks and 3 handballs. Just not handling the ball as assuredly as he usually does.
Kick by Steins to centre wing. Glenn Lovett, almost. Front of the pack, Healy. Great hand pass to Lovell on the run. His left footer's in short, but Eichholz slipped to the ground, marked by Schwab. All Hawthorn centre of the ground.
A classical game of defences. Condon swings it out wide. Depi Domenico's got it. This is Paul Deer. Now he'll centre it. Jenke's in front. Uncontested. Very indirect by Hawthorn. A far cry from them in their prime, but their keys in those attacking positions not there. Oh, Ayres! The mark is paid. What a magnificent mark. It was a pushing, shoving pack there, and somehow the ball finished up with Gary Ayres.
Well, he's just been moved there because Hawthorn are running out of fit players. They've only got 18 fit players, and Ayres, injured a while ago, went from defence to full forward, and that's the sort of thing Brereton did in the grand final that won a premiership.
Oh, that's where great players can lift, and Gary Ayres has certainly been a great player for Hawthorn.
Yes, he thrives in the pressure cooker environment. He's not right. You can see that. The winner of 2 Norm Smith medals. Really hobbling. And Lyon came over the mark that time. Momentarily. Ayres gets the goal. So the Hawks will not be denied. They're within a point now.
Yes, and Gary Ayres obviously not right. He's having a lot to say there to a couple of the Melbourne defenders, Todd Viney and Graham Yates.
A lot of hot airs.
It has been a great performance, though, Hawthorn, being this close against Melbourne, just about at full strength.
Well, Ayres really rubbed it in after he kicked that goal. A bit of jostling behind play. Now 1 point the difference. Melbourne in front. Hawthorn courageous today. Melbourne out of the centre circle. Down goes Lovett. Depi Domenico. Whitman just about threw it out. Lawrence missed it. Lovell goes backwards. Condon for Hawthorn. Delayed the hand pass. Took the job. Advantage paid. The free was going to be given. It's taken by Deer. Greg Deer to half forward. Anderson runs onto it. Over the top. Ayres or Platten. Ayres still after it. Great stuff by Ayres. He flips it out to Platten, but he's been free kicked for throwing it. And it just seems that umpire Chris Mitchell is the one having all the tough decisions today. He's reported players, he's given 50-metre penalties, he's ruled on throws, and that was a vital one near goal, although Platten's kick did miss.
Let's have a look at that again. There's a scoop. Yeah, definite backhand scoop there by Gary Ayres.
Free kick to Lyon.
He's in the left back pocket, Gary Lyon, on report for abusing the umpire. Greg Deere over the top. Newport gained a couple of metres. Glenn Lovett back to Newport from centre wing. He goes down towards half forward. Wilson going back with a flight of the ball. Crashing into the pack was Cooper. Only as far as Lovell. Superbly charged down by Di Domenico. Takes on the tackler. Eichel got him. Ball jarred free. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Gee, that was a quick whistle.
It's good to see that the umpire does pay those free kicks, Dennis, because Di Domenico went to fend off the tackler, Eichel, and he was caught.
This is
I fully support it.
Langford got him. Lawrence hard against the boundary line, the big fellow. More risky. Whitman missed it. They come from all angles. Phoebe charged down by Whitman. Langford goes back. Was he limping? And the ball's out of bounds.
He was shepherding that ball out. Did pretty well.
So we've got a boundary throw in, left full forward. Hawthorn coming at Melbourne. They've added 2 goals in this term. Melbourne 1. Lovett going nowhere. Cooper missed it. Lovell came out. Condon over the ball. Gets rid of it quickly. Cooper goes off the ground out wide. Stretch leads back in the race.
Stretch with Madigan. They've been on each other since Madigan came on early in the second quarter. Stretch flicks back. No whistle for that one. The crowd wants a free kick. No mark to Whitman. Schwab. Play on, says the umpire. It's still on. Madigan caught by Steins. Umpire says you're holding it, Madigan. Free kick to Steins. One point the margin, the Demons in front. Steins short pass. Lovell. Not quite. Tucks back there in defence. The veteran captain across the ground, looking for Deere. O'Dwyer spoils. Cooper's there, and Glenn Lovett. All out of play. Throw in.
It's been a great contest. Both sides have given their all. Hawthorn, with their backs to the wall, have really come out fighting here today.
On the 50-metre line, a further chance for Melbourne. Di Domenico doing ruck work. Ball back out of bounds.
As we said earlier, not a pretty game, but a marvellous pulsating affair.
Is he pumped up? Look at the eyes.
Boundary throw in. Steins and Lawrence. Steins comes again. Phoebe knocks it back towards the middle. Wilson gains about 15 metres. Langford got his fist to it. Tuck. Got it down to Collins. Well directed. Collins hard against the boundary line. Looking for Pritchard. Stretch arrives and gets it out of bounds.
Brilliant play by Andy Collins. Would have been easy to rush it behind, but in a close game, a behind could cost you the points. So he's gained 50 metres instead.
Melbourne lead by a solitary point. The flags around the ground hanging limply. Steins, Di Domenico, hurried kick. Paul Deere slides to take the mark.
Out to Pritchard. Down the boundary line. Lyon leads the race. Couldn't quite take the mark on Morrissey. Gary Lyon in the book for chatting the umpire earlier this quarter. Also in the book for being struck by Dermot Brereton in the opening 5 minutes of the game. Deere wins. Lyon fumbles, picked up by Condon. Condon goes to open spaces. Ayres from full forward. No mark. Jenke after it. Socket away by Viney. Pritchard's in there. Everyone getting bruises to get a kick. Pritchard no exception. Platten with Tingay. Tingay did pretty well then to find the boundary line.
Well, Yates has been moved off Johnny Platten. Tingay now with a job. I think Johnny Northey's a little bit worried about the way Melbourne are performing at the moment.
John Platten today has had 9 kicks and 1 hand pass, 2 goals.
Dwyer fisting away from the boundary throw in. This is Collins. But a fine game. Pulls it back across his body. Spalding. Almost the mark. Not Pay. And Platten runs it across the boundary line. Just over 3.5 minutes remaining in this third term. Greg Deere and O'Dwyer, as they've done all day, battle again. It falls at their feet. Paul Deere trying to crash his way through. Knocked on by Condon. Down to Anderson. Open goal. And he puts it through. Hawthorn lead. Hawthorn 8-4. Melbourne is 7-5.
Been a great quarter of football, Dennis, this third quarter by Hawthorn. 3 goals to Melbourne's 1. And they're playing with half a side off the ground when you consider Dunstall and Brereton. It's just about half their side. Anderson, who's been a very good running player. Condon makes a big difference to this Hawthorn side. And with him back in, he's made a big difference to the packs and around the on-ball players.
Hawks by 5 points. And you only had to see the delight on the faces of Hawthorn players after their last 2 goals to see how badly they want to win this game. This is like a grand final for them. They haven't lost 2 in a row since 1987, the Hawks. They're not going to give this one up easily. Thrashed last week. Pritchard goes to ground. Off the ground by Stretch. Around the boundary line, but over it.
Had some time too.
Just under 3 minutes remaining to three-quarter time. Dippia Domenico, nobody standing his mark. Up to Pritchard. Great kick by Dippia Domenico. Pritchard knocked off the mark. Paul Deere back to Condon. Condon's kick to the 50-metre line. No height there for Hawthorn. There's a push out. It's going to be a Hawthorn free kick. A Melbourne free kick, rather, to Tingay. It was gone back onto John Platten. Short pass over the head of Steins. Plenty of backup from Brett Lovett. Sweeping hand pass. Just reaches Yates. Has gone up to the wing now. Good running. Viney. Viney's kick low to the 50. In front is the veteran Michael Tuck, and he beats Wilson to it.
Plays on quickly to Tuck towards midfield. Anderson, who kicked the last goal, takes the mark. Immediately plays on, swings it out wide. 2-on-1 situation here. Condon's got it. Paul Deere breaking outside. No, it's Cooper who's peeled off. Cooper's got the ball now. Well shepherded by Morrissey. Great mark taken in defence down there by Lovett. That's Glenn Lovett. So players of both sides giving everything. Glenn Lovett out of defence, back to centre wing. All Hawthorn, missed by Cooper, spills wide. Lawrence does well, gets it across to Condon. Anderson's got it now, he's at right half forward. Not a good kick. Glenn Lovett's in the road, tackled by Paul Deere. Ball jarred free, good shepherd by Spalding, bought some time for Campbell, who socked it off the ground and put it out of bounds.
I don't know about that one, Dennis. I thought Glenn Lovett just dropped the ball like a hot potato there when he was about to be tackled.
8-4 52, 7-5 47. Just over a minute remaining. Can Hawthorn get another one? Brett Lovett from Steins, a high kick back towards midfield. Whitman couldn't hang on. Lovell's over the ball. Madigan does well. Condon couldn't control it, goes back in again. Well fought there by Eichel to tie it up, and we'll have a bounce. Well, a remarkable game.
There always seems to be Hawthorn players, though, at the bottom of the pack and cleaning up. Whenever the ball spills free, it always seems to be Hawthorn who are winning the ball and moving it forward.
Deere to Condon, who's had a great quarter. Diving mark by Jenke. Ray Jenke. Up to full forward. Ayres is there. Leaps high. Punches down. Comes back to Ayres. He goes for goal. Gets it. 2 goals in this quarter to the injured Gary Ayres. Moved to full forward.
And a very timely goal, that one too, with only 16 seconds remaining on the clock in this third quarter. Ray Jenke, the player, kicking the ball up. Gary Ayres flying for the mark, and then it spills down to him, backing it up. A clever kick for goal, kept it low, knew that it would skid off the very wet surface here at VFL Park.
Championship quality written all over Hawthorn today. Fighting huge odds. And this is a big break in a low-scoring game. Time just about out. 10 seconds left. Maybe the Hawks can get another one. Anderson, Platten after it. He goes to ground. Jenke runs onto it. Goes for goal. And he's offline, Jenke. for a behind. And that is three-quarter time. Alan Jeans would be proud of his boys now. At three-quarter time, Hawthorn 9-5 to 7-5.
Well, it's a storied history, certainly in recent times, but that quarter by Hawthorn would rank with the best of them. 9-5-59, Melbourne 7-5-47. Just checking the goal scorers, the principal goal scorers. Firstly for the Hawks, 2 apiece to Ayres, Morrissey and Platten, and for Melbourne, Darren Bennett has 3. Alan Jeans, he'd be proud of that quarter. Tomorrow morning on Sports World, Bruce McAvaney and John Alexander talk to Jeff Fennick about his health and upcoming fights. We'll look at the stories that surround Tuesday night's State of Origin clash between New South Wales and Victoria, plus highlights from the national gymnastic titles. It's must viewing for sports fans, that's Sports World. And tomorrow, Australia's top touring car drivers are at Sydney's Amaroo Park for the hotly contested AMSCAR Series, and you'll see all the action right here on 7 Sport. John Northey trying to get the message through as we go around the league. This is an interesting affair. Gee, it's been backwards and forwards out at Windy Hill. Living up to its name, Essendon 14-12, lead by 8 points at three-quarter time. At Princes Park, Carlton back in front there, leading by 8 points. And Collingwood at Victoria Park have a handy lead over North Melbourne. Dermot Brereton came off in the first term after being reported. Let's check South Australian scores now. Half-time in the second half of round 6 over there. And Woodville a long way behind North Adelaide. Central's lead Sturt. And
West Adelaide in a surprise over Port Adelaide. Michael Roberts is standing by. Michael?
Thanks, Dennis. And Alan Jeans asked for two things: show aggression towards the ball, and some of the younger brigade must lift in this last quarter to take in charge of the injuries that they've got. And Jason Dunstall, as I said during that quarter, has a depressed fracture above the right eye socket. Also, John Northey said that they really must lift in this third quarter. Last quarter they tended to sit back. So they must really tackle hard and get in for the ball.
And without being too sordid, I think you could see the depression there. Just about set to go in this final term as we take a look at the stats, Bernie. The term only.
Well, the third quarter, you could really expect that on the board too. Kicks well in favour of Hawthorn, handballs again. Marks well in favour of Hawthorn, and the hit-out's the only thing going for Melbourne. But around the packs, the Hawthorn smaller players have been doing the better. Still Melbourne with 10 free kicks to only 3 free kicks to Hawthorn in that third quarter.
Earl Spalding on the bench with Andy Lovell.
That surprises me. I've thought Lovell's played pretty well.
Lovell's had 20 possessions. Start of the final term, and the Hawks lead by 2 goals. Lights have been on since half-time. Almost night football here at VFL Park. Newport, kick across the ground. Didn't mean it though. Comes to Pritchard. He puts it out in front of Jenke, who marks on his chest 65 metres from goal. Platten trying to get free of his opponent. Jenke comes in to centre half forward, but O'Dwyer dropping back, taking a good overhead mark. Comes up short. Oh, they waited for it there, Melbourne. It's almost come unstuck. Brett Lovett back to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer's kick. Short of half forward. Dippy at Domenico. Whoa! Bang! Down he goes. Play on, says the umpire. Anderson there. Good tackle by Obst. O'Dwyer for the third time. Eishold to Wilson. Open for Melbourne. Wilson's kick for Bennett. Well, Bennett started like a rocket, had 3 goals to quarter time, and nothing since.
Well, the vital kick now for Melbourne. A must goal for Darren Bennett.
This for goal number 4 to get Melbourne back within a goal. Just about right over the right goalpost, but he's missed it. So it's 3 goals, 3 to the man who is second on the goal kickers list, with the men who are first and third both injured.
Michael Tuck to bring it in. Misting rain starting to fall again as Tuck goes in short. Schwab, who's on report, takes the mark. Untidy hand pass opportunity for Melbourne. Wilson into the path of Healy. Hits the hand pass away. Steins in traffic. Scrambles the kick forward down towards the pocket. Out of bounds on the full. So the depleted Hawthorn side still coming at Melbourne. Taking the game by the scruff of the neck in the third term. Put the acid on the Demons, who didn't like it. Cooper runs it out. Chips it over the top. Dippy at Domenico. Left half back. A little indecisive. Gets around Brett Lovett. Long kick down towards left half forward. Morrissey, who's been quiet, traps it nicely to Paul Deere, who's tried very hard. Scrambles it towards half forward. O'Dwyer reaching over the top, dropped it. Platten, open goal. Going back is Hughes. He won't get there in time. John Platten gets his third. How about that for ecstasy? Hawthorn 10-5, Melbourne 7-6. They're bucking all the odds.
There's Johnny Platten there with the dash that he had last season. He's suddenly found it once that knee brace has been taken off. Paul Deere, who's tried very hard on the forward line. A couple of Melbourne players getting in each other's way there. And there's a dash that we've become accustomed to with Johnny Platten. Great roving off the pack in that forward pocket.
Well, Hawthorn have won the last 2 grand finals. Don't do that without being a champion team, and they're proving it here today. Brilliant. Great little tap on by Whitman to Anderson. Platten in the forward pocket again. Tingay's marksman. Yates was moved off Johnny Platten. Platten starring. Centering kick. Courage by Anderson. Top mark.
Well, there's a great mark in these conditions too, because the ball is very slippery at the moment. Let's have a look at that again. Great courage, running with the flight of the ball. And the one grab gives Dean Anderson a shot at goal from about 40 metres out.
This misty rain is almost like a fog. If it gets any thicker, we might be able to see the play by the end of the game. Hawthorn dominated the third quarter to convert an 8-point deficit to a 12-point lead. And here they go for their second goal of this final quarter. Anderson gets it. His second for the day. Big break in wet conditions, 11-5 to 7-6.
Yes, and Melbourne are really battling their goals on the board. They've only kicked one goal since half-time. Hawthorn did all the attacking in that third quarter. And it's been players like Anderson, Condon, Platten, the smaller players who have excelled in these conditions. It's been a game full of character by the Hawks.
Emotional stuff. Hawthorn without their two champions on the forward line. Gary is reduced to running around on the forward line on one leg, and still they're pulling away from the Demons. Tuck carried forward surely, and he'll get the free kick.
He's a master of winning those free kicks, Michael Tuck.
Chip out wide. Collins has got it. They're all over Melbourne at the present time. Long kick towards half forward. Paul Deere goes back. Hughes a fist out wide. Morrissey and Campbell. Morrissey does well. Dragged off it by Campbell. Phoebe at close quarters to Healy. Glenn Lovett's got it on the outer side. Sweeping hand pass. Newport, he's on centre wing. Dragged down. As a result, the kick fell in short. Schwab goes after it, showing desperation in their alone Melbourne player. And we've got a ball up. That's Obst back on the ground in more ways than one.
That's where they've missed out today, Dennis, Melbourne, around the packs. The Ruck Rovers and Roving division have been non-existent.
Haven't matched the determination of the champion Hawks. Schwab out wide. Pritchard's got it now. He's at right half forward. Long kick. Ayres is in front. Hughes comes over the top. It falls to Platten. He's already got three. Running away from his own goal. Pulls it back across his body. Down towards the pocket. Out comes Stretch.
Stretch along the ground. Comes to Platten again. 60 metres out. His kick smothered. Campbell did well to smother and then soccer off the ground to Newport. Newport's pass across the ground to Wilson. Chance for the Demons to set something up here. Oh, he's caught by Di Domenico. Just gets past him. Off to Obst. Poor hand pass. Lyon had to wait for it. Lyon keeps it low to the forward line. Archibald there. Well done by Cooper. In his first season of league football, not that young. He's 22 years of age. Got the jumper out, the socks down, and he is just a typical hard-nosed AFL defender. Steins and Lawrence. Di Domenico. Well, just couldn't pick up a greasy ball, and we'll have another throw-in.
Been a good performance by Di Domenico today as well. His enthusiasm has been carried through to the other Hawthorn players. 5
marks, 16 kicks and 6 handballs.
Boundary throw in. Steins back towards centre half forward. Wilson goes off the ground. Langford's in front, couldn't control it. Healy, a little toe poke. Bennett running away from his own goal. Obst at close quarters to Newport. Under pressure. Well played by Langford. And again, Melbourne can make nothing of it. Away comes Langford. Side foots it back through the centre. Whitman's got the run of it. Right centre wing. Tackled by Stretch. Gets the hand pass away. Playing the percentages. Pritchard out of mid-air. Jenke now. Jenke, right half forward, is centering kick. Where's Ayres? He's in front. Platten's behind. Problems for Melbourne. Platten deep in the pocket. Harassed out of it. And he snuck it through for a behind. Well done by Tingay. John Platten has been lively. He's looking happier. And Alan Jeans. They're in trouble early. They have stuck at it.
Hughes kicks in very wide for Wilson. Not a bad kick by Hughes. 60 metres. Wilson's kick to centre wing. Obst. Ball skims off the wet grass. He's tackled immediately. The pressure's been great all day. Steins into Newport. Newport had to blaze away. Healy. That man Cooper again. All out of play. Crowd of 39,701 here today. And it looks as though the Hawks will triumph. They lead 72-48. Gathered by Yates, who was moved off Platten. Ball held to him. The umpire will ball it up.
Graham Yates beaten by Platten earlier. Playing up the ground now and playing her. Rucks go at it. Steins. They work it forward. Brett Lovett gets the hand pass away to Glenn Lovett. Only as far as Tuck, who's played a wonderful game. Swings it out wide. Rebound opportunity for the Hawks now. Who'll be first to arrive? Morrissey. Had it socket away though. Cooper's got it now. High up and under from right half back. Paul Diaz in front, reaching over the top. Campbell. Condon through the traffic. Newport over the top. Paul Diaz. Pritchard picks it up. Obst has got him. Ball jarred free. Obst hard against the boundary line. Phoebe couldn't hang on. We've got a whistle. I think he was going to pay the mark. Charged down superbly by Tuck. Morrissey in the grass. Couldn't get the kick off. Lyon crashes in. Standing his ground was Tuck. Scrambled across the ground there by Melbourne. It was Stretch. Yates fisting towards half forward. Schwab beckoning Cooper to come on. Such is the confidence. Out wide to Dippy and Domenico. A roar from the crowd as he centres this one. Whitman's got it now.
Chris Whitman goes wide for Ayres again. How did he get that far out in the open? The man who can hardly run.
Well, Danny Hughes has been criticised in the past for being very loose. And on that occasion he gave Gary Ayres 15 to 20 metres to work in.
Ayres has been better since he was injured and moved down to the forward line. Gary Ayres from 50 metres leans back on this one. A beauty! 3 goals to Gary Ayres. And the Hawks bolting away.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? Gary Ayres moved down to full forward after he hurt his leg there in that third quarter. Kicked 2 goals when he was moved down to full forward in the third quarter. And an amazing torpedo with a heavy ball just on the 50-metre line. He's kicked that a good 55 to 60 metres, Gary Ayres.
Remarkable game of football. Remarkable team. Hawthorn. Condon. Lawrence misses it. Stretch sliding in. Gets it for Melbourne. And we've got a whistle. Coming in, they were underdogs at quarter time. Long odds against. Eishold, as far as Lyon, he couldn't control it. Whitman trying to go off the ground. Oh, and that's a nasty one for Whitman. It fell awkwardly across his leg. He seems to be okay. Eishold coming up with the ball. 15 minutes remaining. Steins and Lawrence, nicely done by the youngster. Newport. Madigan's got it now. Strong tackle by Eishold, got him down. Spills across to Brett Lovett, who's gone right out of the game. Standing kick towards half forward. Dippy and Domenico. Right over the top of Healy. They're inspired, the Hawks. Kick out wide. Madigan stands his ground. Yates was bearing down. He takes the mark. He's on centre wing. In the gloom of VFL Park. Madigan towards half forward. Push out was it? Morrissey got rid of his opponent. No free kick. Down towards the pocket off the boot of Hughes. It's gone out of bounds on the full. And the danger man Platten to take the kick.
Could have been a push out there, Dennis. I agree with you against Morrissey there.
Well, Platten's kicked 3. He hasn't run on the ball. He's been in the forward pocket. This from 45 metres on the boundary line. They can do no wrong. A stunning performance by the Hawks. 13-6 to 7-6.
Yes, it's been an amazing turnaround by Hawthorn after last week's scrubbing by Carlton. Johnny Platten's been an excellent player. Virtually stayed in the forward pocket all day. Had only a brief run on the ball. He's kicked 4 goals, and Gary Ayres moved down to full forward. Has kicked 3 goals after that injury in the third quarter.
Well, at half-time, Melbourne led by 8 points. Since then, Hawthorn have kicked 8-4 to 1-2 to turn this game upside down. If Melbourne had won, they'd have been 3 games clear of the Hawks. That was the only incentive Hawthorn needed. Now they'll be within 1 game of them and boxing on right there in the top 5. Also, they haven't lost 2 in a row since 1987. And with their backs to the wall at the start of the game, not to mention Brereton reported and off injured, and Dunstall off injured in the first 10 minutes of the game. This has been sensational. Schwab. Marked by Lyon. Gary Lyon just forward of the centre. Tries a big one. End-on-end kick. Sliding mark by Glenn Lovett. Outside 50, too far out to score. Bennett back in the goal square. Spalding back on the ground as well. Bennett can't mark. It spills to Aishold. Showed courage there. Spalding. Couldn't get boot to ball. Hawthorn relentless. Schwab out of defence.
Back towards half-back. Yates, hard against the boundary line. To Steins. Madigan beat 3 of them. Madigan ties it up for the Hawks. And that really puts in a capsule all we've seen today, certainly in the second half. And the frustration showing from Melbourne.
Well, it was Hawthorn with the frustration early in the game, but it's been taken over by Melbourne. Jimmy Steins hasn't had a great day. Fumbled it a couple of times, a couple of 50-metre penalties.
Collins and Yates, two of the premier back pocket players in the league, going at it. And Yates is racing in the blindfold.
They normally wouldn't get within 150 metres of each other, but both playing different roles at the moment.
Listen to that crowd. They've been spoiled over the years, Hawthorn supporters, but what a day it's been. A remarkable performance. 13-6 to 7-6. There's the time remaining, and now Yates is getting a free kick. Obviously a couple of Hawthorn players still wanting to go on with it. So Yates, oh, that's a lazy kick to Stretch. Stretch right half forward. High kick. Steins in from the side. In fact, Spalding was the man who decided to go. Aishold, a brilliant tackle. Langford gets the hand pass away to Collins, to Dipia Domenico. It goes for the boundary and it skids out of bounds and will be thrown in. Well, that tackle by Greg Deere down there, inspirational stuff, and they've done that all day as well.
Well, sport all about heroes. There are plenty of heroes out there today in the golden brown jumper. Quick hand pass to Newport. I had no intention of getting rid of it, just charged straight at an opponent. Wilson caught, then quiet since he came on. Spills back to Aishold. He's blocked by Tuck. Tuck, brilliant. He's kicked back to the centre of the ground. Paul Deere tries to paddle on. It's taken by Campbell. Bang, back to centre half forward. Tapped out by Bennett, but all Hawthorn. Collins with time. Away to Cooper. Cooper's kick to centre wing. Platten charges up from the forward line. Beats 2 of them, John Platten. Will take a free kick. Grabbed when he didn't have it.
Great game, Johnny Platten.
Oh, welcome back to centre stage. 4 goals in a great display in the forward pocket. Kick not great. Dropped by Viney. Glenn Lovett. And the ball out of play again. Just over 10.5 minutes left. No hope for Melbourne to get back into it. It's 84 to 48.
The Demons just 1 goal since half-time. Spalding is coming off the ground. Dwyer comes back on. Meantime, with the action, Steins won it down. Collins held without it. Will he get the free kick? Yes, he will. What a game he's played. Done the hard stuff and ran all over the ground.
25 possessions, Andy Collins, playing on the ball today, away from the back pocket.
I think he's my choice as best on ground. Goes down towards the pocket. Pritchard threw himself at the ball. It bounces out of bounds and will have a throw in. Just over 10 minutes remain then. (84 to 48). Jim Steins, Steve Lawrence. Steins gets a fist on it. Aishold. Oh, what a great tackle. He was hurt in the tackle too. Laid by Collins. And to add insult to what was an injury, Collins has got the ball on the outer side. There's Aishold. May have just cramped up. Hope that's the case. Towards the pocket. Paul Deere. Down goes Platten. Knocks it out. Off the ground, Morrissey. Didn't go very far. Morrissey gets another opportunity. Phoebe's in there. Campbell. Took a while to get the ball out. Morrissey tracks it back towards the boundary line. He's got it now. Well, momentarily. Lovett's kick is charged down by Condon and will have a throw in. Misting rain still coming down steadily. But things are bright and sunny as far as the Hawks are concerned.
They're in 5th place on the ladder prior to today. Melbourne on top with just 1 defeat in 8 rounds. Free kick here to Lawrence. Pretty hard to see. Lawrence taking it a long way back. I think he's too far out to score. Still, Ayres and Platten and others kicked impossible goals, so maybe Lawrence can kick one too. Offline, away to the right for a behind. Brian Coleman with Alan Jeans. Gee, they'd be proud of their boys today. Kick in, marked by Obst at half-back flank. Little to play for now for Melbourne, although they started with a healthy percentage. They'd like to get a couple and narrow the gap. Dippia Domenico marks in the centre of the ground. Plays on. Great stuff. Puts it wide for Platten. He's got it again. Not a mark this time, but he's pretty slippery, John Platten. Goes to ground. Tingay gains a few metres and the ball out of play. Melbourne need the ball in. And John Platten, injured in the Foster's Cup match against the Swans at Canberra pre-season. Missed the early part of the year, then came back with a knee brace. He shed the brace today and has run around like a 2-year-old. And doesn't Robert Dippia Domenico excel in these big games? Well, he does. I really think that last year's premiership was down to Brereton and Dippia Domenico, who both battled on through injury. Here's Condon approaching 50. Ayres in front. Well, Ayres and Platten are engaging in a goal-kicking competition. Ayres unselfishly to the goal square, and Anderson. Anderson can get into it too, because he'll be kicking for his third. 2 in this last quarter. The rain gets heavier, and Melbourne's plight worsens. Anderson from point-blank range. A hat-trick for him. Brilliant Hawthorn, 14-7. It's 5 goals to nothing this quarter.
Yes, it's been a great second half of football by Hawthorn. 9 goals to Melbourne's 1. And Melbourne really haven't looked like kicking a goal in this second half. Bennett with 3 goals in the first quarter has been quiet since then. Langford well on top. But Hawthorn won it round the packs. Anderson, one of those players with 3 goals.
Well, if ever a team came to play, it was Hawthorn today. They were ready. Outstanding performance by them. 14-7 to 7-6. So 1-1 since half-time from the Demons. Bounce back in the middle. Deer and O'Dwyer. Awkward one for Deer. He's camped underneath it. O'Dwyer wins it wide of the congestion. Healy to no one in particular. Schwab dragged off it. Greg Deer gets a kick. High towards half-forward. Phoebe's in front. Morrissey is with him. Anderson on the assist. Morrissey's got it now. All the time in the world, Morrissey. Centering kick. Platten's in front. Tingay gets a fist on it. Condon can't control it. Sliding in there, Melbourne. Eichel got the ball away. Healy over the top. Brett Lovett to Stretch. Dashing away from half-back. Slippery ball. He lost it. Madigan goes off the ground. It cannoned into Healy. Went about 10 metres on. Back to Madigan. Ball knocked away from him. Opportunity for Newport. Going nowhere. And there'll be a ball up.
Hard, bruising game. Hawthorn have done it without their 2 star forwards. Ruck infringement. Hawthorn free kick to Greg Deer. Comes up with a grin. O'Dwyer was off the ground for about 3 minutes earlier this quarter. Back on. Wide for Dippia Domenico. Short pass over the top attempted. Schwab, who went in the book earlier on. His kick to Ayres again.
Danny Hughes has been moved off Ayres too, incidentally, in this last quarter. It just shows how well Gary Ayres has moved since being put at full forward.
Well, he kicked a 60-metre goal earlier. He tries again, and this time the torpedo gets away from him, out of bounds on the full. Gary Ayres has been used as a pinch hitter going into the centre and has turned many games there, but his effect this time at full forward has been remarkable. Deer missed that one. Comes to the back of the pack to Campbell. Campbell high kick to centre wing. Wilson. Cooper got to the front, couldn't mark. Langford well up the ground. Dippia Domenico back to a nest of Hawks. Tuck takes it. Short pass to Schwab. Just takes the mark before Stretch came to spoil.
Schwab plays on quickly to Tuck. Runs through centre, kicks towards half forward. Collins, pay the mark. It's paid. He's cramped up. He'll take the kick, if in fact he can, from about 45 metres out.
It's been an excellent performance by Andrew Collins, usually playing in the back pocket, but on the ball today, coming up for his 28th possession.
Marvellous game. Wants to take the kick and will.
Gee, those runners stand out on a day like today, don't they?
It's quite eerie, or it was a few minutes ago. The rain has eased a little bit. Collins, not a good kick, wobbles off the side of the boot. Big pack in the air. O'Dwyer roving that pack, gets it out of bounds in the right full forward pocket for the Hawks. Well, Melbourne led by 14 points at quarter time, 8 points at half time. Then Hawthorn turned the game on its ear in the third quarter. They led by 12 at three-quarter time, and that's where we are right now. There's the time remaining. Deer over the top, Platten an opportunity. Newport, hurried kick out of defence. Collins stands his ground in front. What a marvellous mark. Knows no fear, Andrew Collins. He'll kick from 55. Here's the target, and he takes the mark. Well, they've been very indirect on occasions today, Hawthorn, but that's been forced on them because of personnel, or more particularly lack of personnel. And now Ayres, who's kicked 3 goals, is deep in the right full forward pocket. The way they're going, he'll go close from here. Slides it across the face, and Melbourne concede another score.
It's blotted his copybook. Dermot Brereton, a hip injury and reported.
Well, Melbourne since half-time have only had 3 shots at goal and 1 rushed, so that's the dominance of Hawthorn in their second half.
Condon, 40 metres from goal, comes off to Healy, back to the centre. Schwab charges at it, reaches it on the half volley. With him is Wilson. Gives away an easy free kick, Brian Wilson. The rain starting to clear for the end of the game, which is just under 3 minutes away. And these 18 standing Hawthorn players should be all cheered off the ground. Wilson to Glenn Lovett. Long kick to Steins at half forward. Too long. Lawrence sees it out and will have a throw in. Steve Lawrence will be singing tonight. I wonder if Edie Gourmet will be in the dressing room with him.
Boundary throw in. Steins is in front. Whitman into the face of Healy. Whitman goes again around the boundary line on the outer side. Newport only as far as Platten. High kick towards centre wing. Morrissey in front of Phoebe. Couldn't hang on. Condon tries to go off the ground. Morrissey claimed by Glenn Lovett. Ball jarred free. Paul Deer's in there. Back comes Lovett. Over the top, Greg Deer. Pritchard's hurt now, so star-studded is the group that have been hurt today. Hurt and or reported.
And you're talking state players. Brereton, Dunstall, Ayres, Platten, Pritchard.
Dwyer wins the tap away. Platten falls over. And once more the bounce. A feeling of anticlimax now. But I think everybody slightly stunned by what Hawthorn have achieved here this afternoon. Greg Deer knocked on by Condon. Phoebe leads back in the race. Morrissey in close attendance. Phoebe trots it across the boundary line. So Melbourne will have to go away and regroup. Their second loss of the season. They started warm favourites today.
Maybe a bit top heavy today, Dennis, too. Once the rain came with Steve O'Dwyer, Jimmy Steins, Earl Spalding. It's been the ground level players that have won the game for Hawthorn today.
Greg Deer goes off the ground. Todd Viney missed it. Dippia Domenico waiting behind, gets the hand pass away. Here's that man again, Collins, back to Dippia Domenico. Clever little hand pass through to Jenke. Carried forward, was he? Not according to the umpire. Viney the hand pass away. Newport upended as he kicked. Stretcher's got it. Pulls it back, but only as far as Morrissey.
Morrissey, long kick to the forward line. Ayres waits at the back, gains possession. His hand pass is blocked. And Melbourne out of defence. Ayres after it again. Cooper with a great shepherd and a great tackle. Oh, well played, son. Free kick to Whitman. The last right's being played out now. Players going down all over the place with cramp. The latest casualty is Cooper. 4 seconds remaining. Too far out to score Whitman. Off the side of the boot. Doesn't have a chance to land. A great victory to the Hawks.
Well, a fantastic second half by Hawthorn. They set themselves today. Certainly he did, as did Ayres before him. And they're getting a standing ovation from their fans as they come off the ground. They were running out of players, and the players they lost were great players. But Hawthorn, a champion side, have won this game at VFL Park in most convincing style. Hawthorn 14-8, Melbourne 7-6. And we're back at VFL Park. What a remarkable game of football won by a remarkable football team. Hawthorn, as you can see, after half-time completely dominant after they trailed by 14 points at quarter-time and 8 points at half-time. Checking the goal scorers, firstly for the Hawks, John Platten got 4, 3 apiece to Ayres and Anderson, 2 to Morrissey, and singles to Paul Deere and Madigan. And for Melbourne, 3 to Darren Bennett and singles to Campbell, Tingay, Lovell and Newport. Just repeating too that Brereton, Lyon and Schwab all on report as a result of this game. Well, let's talk about the game, gentlemen. Let's sing the praises of Hawthorn. What can you say?
Well, that's when their backs were to the wall today, Dennis. It's when the true character of the Hawthorn side came out, and last week they were defeated by 11 goals by Carlton, and everyone said that, well, a lot of people thought that the end of the Hawthorn era was upon us.
I can put my hand up.
And I was another
guilty.
one.
Yeah, me
and
too.
we all went for Melbourne today, as most people would have. But what can you say about Hawthorn? It was a great performance by them, and Robert Domenico, I think, just showed what can be done last year in the grand final when a big game was there to be won, and again today with the backs to the wall they just came through, and they came through with flying colours.
And remarkable that they could kick 9-6 to 1-2 after half time. In fact, a couple of goals just before half time to the Demons might have been a bit lucky. So really Melbourne were lucky to kick any more than about one goal after quarter time.
Well, look at those stats too, Drew. 231 kicks to 180. Handball slightly in favour of Melbourne, but there weren't many constructive ones there. Hit-outs favoured Melbourne, but it was at the ground level. The players like Platten, Anderson, Condon and Andy Collins, all those on-ball type players that really won the game and set up so many forward moves for Hawthorn.
So Hawthorn by 44 points in the final analysis. Very shortly we'll be going out to Windy Hill.
Double 397.
Hello, Bruce. Can you hear me?
Dennis, how are you, mate?
Hello, Bruce.
Dennis, Bruce Mack.
Are you there, Bruce?
I am,
I can't
Dennis.
hear Bruce coming back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I
Well,
can hear you.
I've got you, sir.
How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Very well. It was a great game out here.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, ours sort of fizzled away, but it was memorable for what Hawthorn did.
They're unbelievable, aren't they? I mean, if ever they were going to be buried, it was today, and they've come out and buried Melbourne. It's going to be a bit tough now for Melbourne to front up in September against them.
Yeah, well, you know they lost Dunstall and Brereton in the first quarter.
What's happened to Dunstall? The knee?
No, he got hit in the head.
Did he? And what about, did Langford go off?
Essendon playing St Kilda today. Let's go out to Bruce McAvaney at Windy Hill.
Dennis, a terrific game out here at Windy Hill today. Marvellous match. Great competition all day. Big crowd, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. The Bombers got home in the end by 11 points. 18 goals 16 to 17 goals 11. They led at three-quarter time by 8 points, but as you can see from the scoreboard, it was a terrific struggle all day. Just a point in it when we were with you at half-time, and in the end, it was just the steadiness. Watson kicked 4, Manning 3, Izard 3, Bowie 5 for St Kilda, Nixon 4, Lowe 3, as we take a look at the highlights of the second half.
Daniels is very promising. Pekin, it sits. Coughlin, short. Walsh tried to get in front of Bowie. Kitchke's handball to Bowie. Bowie, normally a good snap. Is that a goal? I think it is. O'Donnell and Burke. Burke does well. Not a good kick. Kitchke lumbers after it. Van der Haar's got him with a good tackle. Can't get around Korkamilis. Still Korkamilis. Still Korkamilis. Left foot. Good kick. Magnificent kick. What a goal.
The kick in the Madden direction. Up over the top. Now it goes back. Dargy. His kick is smothered. It's kept in. Manning. Anderson into an open goal. Makes a certainty of it.
Van der Haar does the ruck work with Kitchke. Kitchke takes it out of there. Kicks a goal. No, I was going to say almost kicks a goal. Walsh has got it. Bowie kicks the goal. And that's his 5th. Thompson gets some distance on his right leg. Grant getting underneath it. Arnold and Grant went together. Jeffrey. Anderson. Well done by Arnold. Watson. Danaher is a long kick. And that is a beauty. Look at that.
Just some of the spectacular play here today. It happened all day from both ends of the ground. Ian Robertson.
Yeah, it was great stuff by both sides. I don't think St Kilda, with the numbers that had come out of the side, with Lockett particularly missing out, and Rice a last-minute exclusion, I don't think they had a great deal of confidence, but their spirit was great, Bruce, right from the start. And Essendon were tested in the finish. I think Madden with Watson, Terry Danaher, and even Van der Haar being pushed back into defence. He was good. One of the tackles that I think we'll see in the highlights was Grenvold on Kitchke. He was running into an open goal, probably would have made the difference less than one goal. Essendon using lots of handball there, the statistics showing that they've had something like nearly 30 more hand passes than St Kilda, but the Saints were terrific all day long. They never ever gave in, and I guess it's hard to criticise, but you have to come away with the 4 points, really, don't you?
You sure do. Essendon got them here today by winning 18-16, 124 to St Kilda 17-11, 113.
So obviously a tough game out there at Windy Hill, and we'll be back with all the results from today's play in round 9 right after this. Hawthorn had many fine players today. Let's check on a couple.
Well, Andy Collins, a frustrated rover really, has been playing in the back pocket and has represented Victoria in that position. Given a run on the ball today, 30 possessions, 6 marks, just a fantastic day's work.
Darren Pritchard also 17 kicks, one of the Hawthorn better players, 4 hand passes along with Anderson and a couple of the other running players really set Hawthorn up.
Well, one of the problems with John Platten has been that he hasn't kicked as many goals as he should have with his possessions. Today he played in the forward pocket and he kicked 4 goals too and had 17 kicks, and that was his best display for the year.
2 other matches outstanding.